You said Indians stink, right? So I stink.
There's a high likelihood you probably didn't put on deodorant today. Yes.
Okay.
Would you trust like a woman to be your pilot, like on a plane?
Fuck no. Fuck no.
Do you think
dude,
they're
I don't
like-
even trust women to be my Uber driver. If I order Uber and I see a female, dude, I cancel.
I don't really get what the purpose of doing the Nazi salute is. Like, it's kind of like, as a Jew standing here, like, coming to talk to you, like, you say you're peaceful and stuff like that, but I really don't get the purpose of it.
If you woke up tomorrow and you became a woman, what's the first thing you're doing?
Damn, bro, that would suck. What's up, guys? How are y'all doing, man? It is cold as fuck up here. You guys are crazy for being here, man. Reminds me exactly why I left New England. But yeah, guys, the topic is we're talking about, honestly, I know the sign says something about these trannies, but that's not really, well, I mean, that's one of the topics we could talk about. But it could be anything, really. We could. Here's a couple of my worldviews, and you guys can, anyone is welcome to come up and either add to it, disagree with it, whatever it may be. Free speech is the reason why we're better than all these other gay-ass countries. So, number one, women are stupid. Number two, Jews have way too much fucking power in America, and we need to curb that. Number three, black people commit too much goddamn crime, given the fact that they're only about 6% of the population when you account for the males. What else? 4, ICE is doing nothing wrong, and we need to deport these people and send them all back. 5, trainees are mentally ill. Let's see here. What else? Oh, yeah, and 6, Indians stink. So yeah, if anybody has anything, whether they agree, disagree, want to add to it, or disagree with it, those are some of my worldviews. And, yeah. Oh, and it wasn't 6 million, by the way, either. 271K at best. So, yeah, anyone want to come up? Come on up. Come on up. Yeah, we got some OSS guys. Hey, shout out to all you guys. Yes, let's go.
How you doing?
Oh, what's up, man? How are you?
So, you said Indians stink, right? So I stink.
There's a high likelihood you probably didn't put on deodorant today. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really have a problem. I don't consider myself a liberal. I believe in things like free markets and things like that. Would
Sure.
you consider yourself like a man of ethics? Like you have an ethical code that you abide by, right?
Yeah, of course. I mean, bro
Right.
code.
No. I mean, like you talk a lot about the atrocities in Gaza and things of that
Yeah.
nature. So you have an ethical code, right?
Absolutely, yes.
So my thing here is, I think, because of social media, because of this thing, you have a huge class of just lonely, depressed men out there, basement dwelling, Redditors. You get the picture, right? And, I believe in free markets. There is profit to be made here, right? You go on social media, you engagement farm, you get a bunch of people on your side. But I'm saying if you stick to an ethical code, I still do believe that there is such thing as, there is a manliness problem. Yes. Do I think men should pay for a woman's meal, all those kinds of things? Of course. But, why don't we look towards the actual definition of manliness? Why don't we look towards greats like Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius? He began every day by meditating. Why don't we look at Buddha, who, came up with this idea of taking accountability for yourself, right? So whether or not you believe Jews control the world or women should be eradicated or whatever you believe.
Well, I never said that. Hold on.
I know you never said that. I'm sorry. I'm slipping up with my words. But I'm just saying, regardless of what you believe, don't you think we as men should say, no, it is within my control? Something so great about this country that most of the millionaires in this country are self-made. So my question is, it's like you're funding, this theory that a lot of males subscribe to, putting blame on other things. And I'm not here to debate whether or not that's true. I'm just saying we as men should take accountability for our own actions.
Yeah, so when it comes to the problems that, face men, it's not about blaming other things. It's about identifying problems so that you can deal with it properly, right? So when it comes to male authority like you're discussing here, I'm all for that. I actually don't think women should work. I think men should be focusing on having families, being the breadwinners, taking care of the woman. She focuses on the children. However, we need to be able to identify the problems and the obstacles that keep men from doing that. And one of the big ones is feminism, which was a huge lie. And the problem is that men are held to a standard where they're expected to be chivalrous, they're expected to be the authority, the protectors and providers, but these bitches don't want to make sandwiches. And it's fucking ridiculous. Because you can't give someone authority, right? Well, you can't give someone responsibility without that said authority. So my problem is that not necessarily that men need to man up, which they do. I say this all the time on my show. Guys need to stop being bums and fat and losers and, stop being, they need to start being competent. But the reality is that most women simply don't respect most men, and women are taught to do whatever they want to do and not respect the male's authority, but he's still held to a standard versus she isn't. So in other words, he's expected to be a gentleman and do his part as a guy. She's not expected to be a lady. And I'm here to identify and tell guys, look, your job is to be the protector and provider, but you can't do that for every single woman, especially a woman that thinks that she's equal to you or within the confinements of an egalitarian relationship. Because the issue is that most women want equality, right? But they still want you to be better than them in every single other way. They want you to be taller, make more money, have more status, etc. But then they don't want to listen to you when you say, make me a sandwich. That's a problem. So it's one or the other. You want me to be the protector provider? You got to follow what I say. But a lot of women don't want to do that.
Right, but there's a difference between identifying a problem and thinking about things that are within your control, right? So, like I said, the Buddha he nonstop talk about that. I mean, you look at statistics all over the world, who are the happiest people? It's not the people on social media. It's not the people who are making Jewish conspiracy theories or whatever the case is. It's the people who are only focused on what they can control. And I think your rhetoric is, okay, yeah, women are a problem, women are to blame, but most of your audience,
well,
the
feminism
people,
is one of the main problems.
Sure, feminism, whatever, but I'm saying the most people who are on your Rumble, watching and just spamming W's, they're the one, how can you identify a problem, fix a problem of feminism when you yourself are a basement-dwelling, kind of low-life bum who doesn't really contribute anything to the economy? Well,
no, that's a good question. That's precisely why I do my Money Monday shows. That's why I do my Womanizer Wednesday shows. That's why we do call-ins where people can ask questions, because it's not enough to just identify the problem. We also teach guys, this is how you make money. This is how you invest in real estate. This is how you invest in crypto. This is how you invest in index funds in the stock market. So we don't just identify the problem, but we give solutions to said problem. Because I agree with you. Just sitting there complaining and screaming at the clouds like, oh my God, bitches
but
are stupid.
Isn't that what your platform is? It's like, I go on your Twitter and it's nothing but just that. Like, I get it. Like,
making fun of Jews on Twitter?
Yeah. Or
that's hilarious.
Yeah, I understand it's hilarious and it makes you a lot of money, but I'm saying from an
Actually, I'm demonetized on Twitter.
Okay, it doesn't matter. There's money, there's revenue coming in. So I'm saying from an ethical standpoint, I understand there's profit to be made. Trust me, I love free markets. But I'm just saying, like, from an ethical standard, you're the one who's calling out the atrocities in Gaza, but you're mobilizing a community of people who are kind of just down on their luck. They have nobody but to blame but themselves. And there's just zero accountability. I think that's a huge problem in America. There is zero accountability in men.
If you watch my content, not just the ones where I have girls on or me talk the political stuff, I tell guys all the time, you got to get in the gym, you got to be competent, you got to stop being a loser, stop crying, stop complaining. Well, I'm actually way harsher on men than I am on women, especially when I do my call-in show and they say, hey, this is where I'm at.
But then how come your poster is not men need to take accountability instead of transgender as a mental awareness, right? You're appealing to these dog whistles. Like, I'm supposed to be here, right? You're supposed to say, oh, there's a high probability I didn't put on deodorant. Like, you know what I'm saying? For you...
Kind of high, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny and it gets engagement. For you, I'm supposed to make a scene. I'm supposed to get all mad and get on my high horse so there's engagement to be made. But I'm not doing that, right? I'm presenting you an argument, and you kind of deflect here. You're deflecting.
No, I'm not deflecting. It's that you're just speaking from a position where you're not totally aware of, the type of content I make. You're saying, hey, look, why don't you put more accountability on guys? And I'm here to tell you I do. Literally, I do. We just did a Money Monday the other day talking about how to pull your budget and make money and keep from being a brokey. And we literally did a whole show on that. Spent like almost 2 hours. It's just that stuff doesn't go viral, right? Like all my self-help stuff doesn't go viral. It's me talking about other things that go viral, but I absolutely do present all that other stuff because I agree with you. Identifying the problem simply isn't good enough. You must come up with solutions, but the problem is that solutions don't go viral.
But
I make a lot of different content. I do true crime, geopolitical stuff, everything, but the stuff that goes viral is the cultural stuff, unfortunately.
But what would you say about, statistically, people who exhibit levels of prejudice, people who are hateful people, 10 on average to have lower IQs? Do you factor that into your assessment of anything?
I'm a bit confused. You're saying so people that are prejudiced have higher IQs?
Lower IQs. They tend to have lower IQs.
I mean...
do you think it makes any of your fans money by going around and claiming dancing Israelis when most of us were born past 2001, the war in Iraq is kind of over, and all these sort of things? It's like, it's just...
Oh, you really don't watch my content. Yeah, dude.
Of course, I don't watch your content because I wake up in the morning, I do my work.
No, that's fine.
I
That's
go
fine.
To class,
but the
I
thing
take
is like
notes.
I just love how you're like making all these like assumptions and you're totally wrong. That's actually the contrary. I tell people all the time, hide your power level. Don't talk about this shit when you're at school. Don't talk about this shit when you're at work. Don't mention anything when it comes to dealing with women or Jews or anything, because I don't want people to get in trouble for this stuff, right? It's cost me millions of dollars.
But how does me
So I don't want
believing
people
that
getting in
Jews
trouble.
control the world? How does that help me with my goal? How does that?
Well, you need to understand the power structure of the United States. If you don't understand who rules over you, then how are you going to figure out how to get power? Like, it's very important to understand who runs our government, how they run it, why they do the things that they do. And it's only probably within the last 2 years or so that people have woken up to Jewish power and Jewish supremacy in the United States, where it's getting us involved in a genocide that's been documented in 4K. I've been talking about this stuff before Gaza, right? But obviously that got me demonetized and created a whole bunch of problems. But it's good now that people are finally seeing where our tax dollars are going, and they're seeing how it's manifesting. And it's manifesting in bombs over kids. So that's why I think it's important for people to understand, because if we want to change the structure, we need to identify the problems with the structure and then put those people in positions of power. But they're not going to get those positions of power if they're running around saying, it's the Jews. Like, no, we got to hide our power levels, acquire power, and then take our country back.
All right, I don't want to take too much of your time, but I really wish that you could just level with me, kind of put down the character, and actually understand what goes into it. Because
yeah, I'm the same guy on and off camera, man. I don't know what really to say here. Like, it is what it is. I just don't.
no, but I'm saying it's just like a politician. There's a profit incentive to be made. You have a large fan base of people. They're on their Discords.
If my goal was to even make money, this is the stupidest way to make money, by the way.
I don't think so. You're
It's
making
absolutely
great money.
the dumbest way to make money. But dude, if I want to make
it's not just money that's
I would be a
motivating you.
progressive.
It's
If
not
I
money
wanted to
that's
make
just-
money, I would be a progressive. I would, talk about feminism being great. I'd be taking a leftist approach to anything, because the problem is that when you're a conservative, especially someone like me, you get banned, you get censored, you get, demonetized. So, I truly do believe this because I've lost millions of dollars doing it, and that.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever it is, it could be money or fame. But like I said, for example, Hakeem Jeffries came here last semester. The only people in his audience were just well-to-do white people. You have a very, very potent and concentrate, fan base that is willing to ride or die for you. That's really powerful.
Yeah, because we're all tired of the faggotry. That's why. Like, we're literally tired of the faggotry. Like right now, I'll be honest, like right now you're trying to tone police or whatever. This is precisely what I'm rebelling against. Like this whole, should men take more accountability? Well, isn't it kind of retarded to talk about the dancing Israelis? Oh, well, isn't it like
I'm just saying it's a waste of time. I'm just saying it's a waste of time.
Yeah, well, I would beg to differ.
Because I think about every morning what is in my control. And what is in my control? Going to class, making money, taking care of my family, those sorts of things, right?
Sure.
I'm not going to gain any profit. I'm not going to gain any enlightenment or anything like that if I'm on my Twitter just looking at a bunch of Jewish conspiracy theories. That's my
Well, not really conspiracy theories. They're true.
Okay, but I'm telling you,
they're 100%
my
true.
argument is if I don't really care if or not it's true. That's not my argument. I'm just saying it's just a waste of time. And if you want to maximize your time, I think it's more important to wake up in the morning, stay disciplined.
Acquiring knowledge on female nature and how to navigate the dating marketplace so that you can pick the appropriate wife so she doesn't ruin your life is a waste of time. Figuring out how the United States is run and who actually funds it and who's behind everything is a waste of time. I would disagree. I think that's extremely important and pertinent to people, especially young men, who constantly get lied about how the world really works.
All right, then I guess we get to agree to disagree. But I really appreciate you
No
talking
worries.
to me.
Yeah, no problem,
You have a
man.
good rest of your day.
You too, man. Take it easy. Who's up next? Yo.
Hey, how are you, man?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing well. I am just coming across you right now, so I don't really know a lot about you. Is this partially joking around, or are you serious about all the claims that you've made?
Which one in particular?
Like you said earlier that women are stupid.
Yes, they are.
You're serious about that? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have women in your life?
Of course.
Yeah. Well, I do too. No, I have a mom. I have a beautiful mother, right? And she's extremely intelligent. She's smarter than I am. I grew up in a large family, and I had two sisters, and both of them are extremely intelligent, smarter than I am, right? I have younger sister who is studying like biochem at University of Tampa and doing extremely well with that. So how can you make this broad generalizing statement that women are stupid? Like, are you not talking, like, help me to understand.
Yeah, so like when I say that, what I'm talking about is like feminism was a lie.
Yeah.
And a lot of women are stupid for buying into it because it creates a lot of problems.
Yeah. Well, wouldn't you agree, like, for example, I'll just give an example of a lie that men have bought into, right?
Sure.
Like, I think pornography is a lie that men have bought into, right?
I agree. I think pornography is very bad.
Yeah, it's terrible. And a lot of guys use it, and they use it a tremendous amount. From your logic, I could say that men are stupid, men are retarded. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, absolutely. I would argue that most dudes are retarded, but here's the difference.
Yeah.
Men get told that they're stupid, women don't. As a matter of fact, the fact that you're even up here talking to me right now and you're so triggered by it proves my point that women never get told that they're stupid.
Yeah.
Because you felt the need to come up and defend it because that's how rare it is to hear from a guy saying, yeah, women are retards.
No. I do think I do feel like a desire to defend that. And I don't know.
But that's what I'm trying to explain to you is that because you said, oh, well, men are stupid too, right? And I was like, yes. But the difference is no one gives a shit if I say men are retarded. People only care when I say women are retarded.
Yeah.
So much so that you came up to defend them.
No, I don't know.
And not just you, many other people too, of course.
You and I have extremely different experiences. I've had experiences with women, my friends, my sisters, my mom, where we're able to have conversations. And I'd like to believe that I can point out some of the bullshit that they're on, and they can point out a lot of the bullshit that I'm on, right? I mean, men and women, we're different, and that means we have to talk to each other in different ways to some degree, right?
Yeah, men are superior.
No, dude. I mean, I think we're equal.
They're not? We're equal?
I think we're equal in worth and value, right? I'm not saying that we're the same in every single way, but the worth and value that a man has is exactly the same as the worth and the value that a woman has.
Now, when it comes to like a human dignity standpoint, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, sure.
What other
but when it comes
matters?
to adding value to society, it's us 1,000%.
Well, it depends, like, what do you mean by value? Because if it wasn't for women, I mean, human beings wouldn't exist.
Well, they need a man to do that too. But
well,
yeah. So
no, 100%.
And that's another common misconception that like because we pedestalize women way too much.
I disagree.
Like the reality is that outside of sex and having children, like women are effectively useless for society. Let's be very honest here.
No,
right?
That's evil, man.
No, I'm being honest here because okay, let's look around here. The cameras, the lights, all these different structures that are built. Men built all of that. Women don't build anything. They just move in. And this is like considered like a very taboo thing to kind of understand that men are superior to women in almost every way. And we have to be because men have to add value to society. Women don't.
Look, you and I must have different experiences because I have professors at this school who have made a tremendous impact on me. I've had teachers who have taught me so much. I have sisters in my church.
Yeah, that's a part of the problem. Women control academia, and that's why it's getting cucked.
Okay, bud. I mean, I don't know. I've just had a lot of great people in my life who have played a tremendous amount of influence, and some of that's my mom, and my mom did a great job.
Look, I'm not saying all women are retards. There's some brilliant women out there, but for the most part, most of them are retards. Just like with men, most of them are retards.
Most of us are retards. Okay.
Yeah, people in general.
Look, I'll agree with women are stupid only if we all agree that human beings in general are stupid.
Of course, but the difference is that with women, we don't call out their stupidity.
I disagree.
Because we're always trying to fuck them, so we don't tell them what it really is.
Okay.
Every single one of you guys in here knows a dumb bitch that you're like, damn, this chick is annoying, but I'm trying to get laid.
I know a lot of dumb.
Let's be honest, bro. Every single one of you guys know what the fuck I'm talking about.
I know a lot of.
Come on, man. You're like, how the fuck did this bitch get in here?
I know a lot of dumb
guys.
What the hell? Too. Oh yeah. I mean, look, you and I strongly disagree on that, and also,
bro has his girl in this fucking stance right now. That's why he's saying all this.
Yeah.
Defend you, my lady.
Yeah. And my second question was about the 6 million statement. Do you truly believe that it wasn't 6 million Jews who died in the Holocaust, or were you joking around?
Wait, you think 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust?
I think so, yes. I mean,
fuck no, bro.
I mean, you guys can laugh at me, but I mean, that's true. That's a fact. That's history, man.
No, bro.
6 million people died.
Dude. Yeah. So here's the thing. Let me just kind of go through this like it's in a simple fashion. Do you believe that Israel committed a genocide?
I'm honestly not super informed about it. I'm aware.
That's fine.
I'm aware that the UN says that they have, right?
Fair.
Yeah.
Every genocide expert, every scholar, pretty much has come out and said that what Israel did in Gaza is textbook definition of genocide, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you got Benjamin Netanyahu, all the Israeli, government officials, all their Hezbollah agents on social media saying it's not a genocide. They're denying a genocide. Meanwhile, we saw what they did in literally 4K, blowing up buildings, killing kids, destroying 90% of the structure, etc., right? And they deny it being a genocide. So if they have the capacity to lie to us with 4K evidence, what doesn't lead us to believe? Why would they not lie about a historical event that they've been able to draw their victimhood from almost 100 years ago, where there's very little documentation on it? If they would lie about a genocide in 4K, what tells you they wouldn't lie about the numbers from the 1940s, right? Or the 1930s? So my thing is, look, I'm not saying the Holocaust didn't happen. I'm not one of those guys. But what I am saying is I think the facts surrounding it and the numbers are a bit inflated to push out a certain narrative that allows them to draw victimhood from. And then on top of that, keep in mind there's an entire economic structure built around the Holocaust, whether it's the museums, it's the Hollywood, it's the textbooks, etc., so the memoirs. So there's just a lot of inconsistencies with the official narrative. Look, World War II was a terrible time. Millions of people died. I'm not denying that.
Yeah.
But I definitely have questions about the official narrative that we got told about the Holocaust, with that particular number of 6 million Jews being killed. Many people died during that time. But we only tend to pay attention to that. And they always use that as their excuse when they make their arguments. Oy vey, the Holocaust, oh, never again. You know, as they're bombing and killing kids all across the Middle East.
Yeah, man. I think you just pointed at what's going on in Israel, which I have like I don't really know anything about it. I'm very little support for. I have no support for it at all. I don't know.
Sure.
That has nothing to do with the Holocaust, dude.
It actually does quite a bit.
You just
Their entire victim narrative is propped up on the Holocaust, so they need to maintain that narrative.
Dude, I look. You know a lot more about this than I did.
That's fine.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure 6 million people died. And
Put it this way, bro. There weren't enough ovens for the cookies. I'll put it that way.
Dude, I mean, the cookies are human people. The cookies are human people, and
I'm not doubting that, but I'm just saying there weren't enough ovens.
You're making a joke about whether it be 270,000 Jews who died or 6 million people.
Yeah, it's an atrocity no matter what.
You call them cookies.
Yeah, there weren't enough. The Cookie Monster definitely didn't have enough ovens for the event. Definitely not.
This is God bless you, sir, and God bless everyone here. This is evil. This is really evil.
Now this is evil. Telling the truth is evil now.
100% it is. Thank you for speaking with me, though.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Who's up next?
Hey, Myron, how are you?
Yeah. What's up, man?
Hey, bro, let's do a double debate.
Yeah.
I'm from Palestine. Bro.
Oh, you're from Palestine? Cool. But yeah, just
Min Tabariya, bro. From 1948, my family's village got eliminated by Israel.
Yeah. No, I know.
I do have something to say about the previous guy.
Sure.
He said he's not aware. Like 6
Are you guys
million
both Palestinian?
Yeah, Palestinian.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. So he said that he's not aware of like the 6 million people. He's not sure. Like he's not aware about what's happening in Gaza.
Yeah.
But he's aware of the 6 million people dying in the Holocaust.
Yep.
I don't know. Like I haven't looked into the Holocaust, whether it's fake or not. But if you're not aware about what's happening currently, how can you be aware of something that's happened in the 1940s? I'm not like saying this many people died, or like I'm not saying it's fake, but how can you not be aware of something that's in front of our eyes to the previous guy?
Yeah. And that's my argument is like, look, if they're going to deny a genocide, what makes you think that they wouldn't lie about a historical event that gives them an enormous amount of power, victimhood, and there's a financial and commercial incentive to, continue to, push that narrative, right? There's like Holocaust museums everywhere that make millions upon millions of dollars.
You can't even find history on my village. I'm from Tabariya.
Yeah.
Tabariya, 1948. And if you actually look into details on it, right? Jewish and Muslims lived together. My grandfather lived with the Jewish community. They massacred their own Jewish community. I've read this and I've done detail about this. So I appreciate you, Myron, for speaking on this, because never have this been publicized like this. Obviously, I don't agree with all the points. I feel like you can just be like a little less sense on Indians being stinky and all that type of shit, because you feel me, like it's more professional.
Hey man,
you don't
curry
have
sucks,
to,
bro. I mean, I can't lie about that.
I understand where you're coming from, but like.
Hey, Myron, quick question. So you said woman, like, do you think that they deserve to like stay in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Like, so
I'm
what
a
is
firm
your
believer in keeping them in the kitchen? Yes.
So what is your like? Do you have like a plan that you could talk about? Like, how do you plan to get that to happen? Is there like a certain year, or like,
like how we're gonna get women back in the kitchen?
Yeah, like how do you plan on getting women back in the kitchen and like cooking, making sandwiches?
Yeah. So the plan is this. Basically, we need to start incentivizing women to get back in the kitchen. So we have to do it in waves. So my plan is, like you go to airport and they say like, group 1 can board, group 2 can board.
Yeah.
Yeah. So group 1 is going to be the hot girls. We're going to send them back to the kitchen first, right? So, hey, all you bimbos that are hot, you can get back in the kitchen first. Then it's going to be the mid girls. Hey, you guys can get back in the kitchen now. And then lastly, it'll be the fat bitches. We tell them they can get back in the kitchen, but they can't eat anything. So that's kind of how we're going to do it. We got to do this shit in waves. We can't just tell all of them to go back at the same time. It's not going to work, right? Right? Yeah. So we got to do it slowly but surely. Hot ones first, mids after, then fat ones last, and then we go from there.
All right, and then, sorry, one last question.
Yeah.
So, in like one of your debates previously, like there was the girl you were arguing with, I forgot what college.
Yeah.
But you were like, where's Muhammad when you need him?
Yeah.
Do you?
Oh, yeah, it was like a chick. Yeah, she was wearing a hijab. I was like,
she
why
was
is she
low-key
talking?
annoying. She was
Yeah.
low-key annoying. Like, I'll give you that.
Yeah, bro.
But I wanted to ask, like, you're Muslim, right?
Yeah.
So, like, why do you refer, like, to our Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as, like, Muhammad? Or, like, why is there certain things you do?
Well, I wasn't talking about the Prophet in that context. I said, because Muhammad's a popular name. So I was like,
Okay.
where's a
So
Muhammad
you're saying,
to
like,
take
Muhammad
it?
in general?
Yeah, like a Muhammad in general, yeah.
Okay. I was just curious. Yeah.
Yeah, or Abdul, whatever you want to say. I say
Not
Abdul
when
get
it
the
comes
rocks
to
all the time,
religion.
too.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you, Myron.
No problem, man.
Hey, do we get pics with you at the end?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
I'm
all right,
going to stick
bet.
around and take pictures with everybody.
What
Don't
time
worry.
are you here until?
As long as I need to be, man.
All
I'm
right.
not Hollywood.
All right, bet.
You guys know it. Yeah, man.
One more thing I want to add to that too, because look, I got a mom and I have sisters too. One thing I don't agree on you is, women are not stupid. Women are actually really intelligent. That's one thing I want to add to this. Coming from a family, my mom has done a lot of shit in my family. So for women to say women are stupid, man, that's kind of harsh. But aside from that, follow my TikTok, Mo Trades, MOETRADEZ. I teach about the stock market and teach you how to escape the matrix, escape this shit. All right, escape this shit because this is the matrix.
All right.
Hey, real quick, I don't think women are stupid. Like I'm back up, but like
He has this girl in the audience too, guys. Relax. Both of them got their girls in the audience, man. They got to say something.
Like when you say
You went up there and you did a challenge about women.
when you say like women are stupid, could you like elaborate on that like a little more? Like
Yeah. When I say that, what I mean when I say women are stupid is, well, number one, they're easier to sell to, they're easier to market to.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Number two, they buy into the lie of feminism, thinking that chasing a career and money and income and status is going to make them happy and fulfill them overall.
Yeah.
And then number three, a lot of them are whores, and they don't realize that being a whore is going to fuck them up long term with finding a partner.
So like, do you think would you trust like a woman to be your pilot like on a plane?
Fuck no. Fuck no.
Do you think
dude,
they're
I don't
like-
even trust women to be my Uber driver. If I order Uber and I see a female, dude, I cancel.
Like do you
Dead
think-
ass.
Is it because they're too emotional or like what is it? What is it in particular?
But look, let me be very clear about this. Are all women stupid? No. There's obviously a small group of women that are competent, that can do things that men can do, that aren't morons. But the reality is a majority are stupid because there's no incentive for them to be smart and or be competent because women... So with a man, right?
Yeah.
If we're a loser, when you go outside and you talk to people and you present yourself, you will know very quickly where you stand socially. If you're a loser, girls don't want to have sex with you, guys don't want to be friends with you, you're not able to get a job. Like there's a direct mirror reflection of your inadequacies as a man. As a woman, though, you could be a bumbling, bimbo, dumb whore with an STI, and people still treat you like you're the best thing ever since sliced bread because women rarely get held accountable for their poor decisions. They're rarely told the truth about their deficiencies.
100 woman versus accountability for sure.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say. So like with them, they kind of operate, they don't know where they really stand versus as men, we know where we stand very quickly.
All right, thank you.
No worries. Who's up next? Any angry feminists? Okay, cool.
Myron, welcome to The Ohio State University, man.
Hey,
We're
man,
glad
I'm
you're
happy
here,
to be
brother.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
man.
happy to be here, man.
Want to have a proud, I just want to have a very respectful debate with you, man. And
Sure.
ultimately, whatever I ask, I give the glory to Jesus Christ for, man. I'm just very thankful to be here to talk to you right now.
All right, awesome.
So, man, it's great to see you in person. So, anyway, I have a major question for you. I wrote it down because I want to make sure ultimately that I'm not just spitting up here my emotions of how I feel, rather having some logical fact. So, Myron, you've spoke critically about illegal immigration and border enforcement, But what's your stance on expanding U.S. immigration system to include more room for legitimate asylum cases and a clearer pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants already living in our country? Do you believe America should modernize and grow its immigration system or tighten it further?
Yeah, so good question, really good question. So my stance on immigration is this. And for those of you that don't know, just quickly give you guys my background. Before I did this podcasting stuff, I was a special agent with Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, for 7 years as an agent, and I worked for the agency a total of 10 years, 3 years as an intern, and then 7 years as an agent. I started my career in Laredo, Texas, where I did everything from drug trafficking to human trafficking to money laundering, cartel violence, kidnappings, all that type of stuff. So I did that for a very long time. Then I started doing the podcast stuff where I talk to women and lose even more hair. So when it comes to immigration, it's a topic that I'm fairly familiar with. So my thing is this. We need to reform our immigration system. It's completely broken. The INA is outdated. We need to update it for modern society now. So I do think that we need, an immigration moratorium for somewhere between anywhere from 1 to 10 years. And we need to reform our entire immigration system and our visa system because it's completely broken and we're getting beat on so many different angles.
Because I just feel like that's the one area Trump needs to kind of be better at. I mean, like, look at what he's brought to the country with the $17 trillion of investments that he's bringing into America and, like, making America great again.
The system is absolutely broken and exploited. And unfortunately, I wish the American public knew more about this. But it's not just us getting beat on the southwest border of them coming in. We also have an enormous amount of people that come here legally and then overstay their visas. I know a lot of obviously we're here in university. Some of you guys might be here on an F1 visa. That's a visa that's heavily exploited by foreign nationals all the time, J1 visas. Also, a lot of people from first world countries that have visa waivers like Canada, Australia, England, etc. A lot of these people come without any type of documents and just overstay. So that's another problem as well when it comes to immigration where lots of people abuse the system that come here legally as well, not just people that come in illegally.
Yeah, and it's just a big detriment to America, and I mean, I don't know. It's very crazy. And I have one more thing for you.
Sure.
I'm very respectful of your religion, like you believe what you believe.
Yep.
So my question is, and I would love insight on this. Jesus says that he's the way, the truth, and the life, and no one will come to the Father except through me. As being Muslim, right?
Yeah.
How do you take that and not only deepen your own faith, but also strengthen other people around you by seeing that? Because the Bible has been a credible book, as several hundred people have written it, but the nuances of how it's all interconnected. I mean, I just kind of want your opinion on that and just. So
I'll be honest, I'm not really a religious guy. I have an enormous amount of respect for anybody from the book, whether, Jewish, Muslim, or Christian, and that's in our faith as well. But I don't really consider myself that much of a religious guy. I grew up Muslim, but am I devout? No. I am studying it in other religions as well because I do think it's important to understand different religions, especially when it comes to understanding geopolitical affairs as well. But that's kind of where I'm at with it. But I'm not a super religious person at all. But, for those that are religious, I think it's great. I think it's a fantastic way to live your life and have some type of guidance.
Do you ever feel like you'd fall into the political spectrum if you had a chance?
Into the political
run for office and anything like that,
man.
Because I feel like people forget that you're allowed to have your First Amendment right. Because people will crap on you and be like, "Oh, he just wants to tell women to go make a sandwich." That's okay. But people in America, that's why it's the best nation we ever have. The God-given freedom of religion, and pursuing anything that you want. It's the greatest country ever. So.
Absolutely, yeah. No, that's what sets us apart from these other cucked countries. You look at the UK, people go to jail for Twitter. You know what I mean? The UK is cooked. Canada's cooked.
Sad.
We're by far the best country. We have our problems with crime and everything else like that, but I do think in general, when it comes to making money, opportunity, the United States is by far the best. I still think we're the best. But getting into the political scene, I don't know. I mean, I'm really controversial, but I do think that we are getting a shift here. We've seen the explosion of my buddy Nick Fuentes. And people are starting to really realize that the old way of governing and this unequivocal support of Israel and the neocon mantra is kind of dying out. So we might get a new America where we're actually going to put America first, and we might need more radical people at the forefront. So we'll see what happens. But I'll tell you this, man, if I ever got into office, we'd cut that crime immediately. I think that's one of the biggest problems we have in the United States.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, all the sanctuary cities that are being
I think we need to bring torture back, if I'm going to be honest.
To what degree, if I may ask? Like, what do we legitimize as proper thing for, people who are facing crimes? I very much take it from a biblical sense of an eye for an eye, and I believe the death sentence for people that take a life to have their life taken.
Yeah.
Because,
So
you know,
what if I became Fuhrer or president? What I would do is or Attorney General or whatever. I think what I would do is I'd bring torture back. I'd start a new channel. I'd start a network. It'd be called the WBNN or the Waterboard Niggas Network. And what we would do is, is anyone that
crazy.
assaults children, school shooters, crazies that like stab women on trains, right? Like the other guy that did that in I think it was North or South Carolina.
Yeah.
You got to just torture these guys and publicly do it, because the reason why is that these guys, a lot of times just executing them isn't enough. You need to set a public example,
Yeah,
and then
a
also you need to
precedence
deter.
against it.
You need to deter others. And the problem with a lot of these criminals is they're egomaniacs. So
Yeah,
them
absolutely.
being tortured in front of a bunch of people and suffering and looking like a bitch will make them think twice about it, and it might deter other people, because if you're gonna sit there and you're gonna because I used to investigate pedophiles as well. One of the things that HSI does is child exploitation, big case, arrested many pedophiles and very violent individuals. Some of these people need to be made an example out of, and just executing them
Absolutely, yeah.
in front of their family members isn't enough. And I think that's what we need to do to send a very strong message that if you do this, you're going to eternally suffer just like the families you've made. It's not enough for you to just go ahead and be like, oh yeah, let's just give them a lethal injection and call it a day. Fuck that. You
like
got to
releasing all the criminals that keep doing countless crimes in like California, and
Yeah.
like all these other Democratic-led states. It's just crazy to me.
You gotta go
Sorry
hard
that
on
I'm
crime.
talking a lot. I
No,
love
it's fine, it's
politics more
fine.
than
It's-
anything.
it's-
So
you gotta
kick
go
me
hard
off
on
whenever
crime.
you need to. So
No, you're good. But just I'll end it here.
Yeah.
If you're going to go ahead and murder people, right, like what we saw on that train, for example, where you just stabbed that woman in the neck for no reason.
Yeah.
You
It's a
not
shame.
only do you not deserve freedom, you deserve to be tortured in front of everyone, so other people can know that this is going to be completely intolerable. And I'd make sure it was for free as well. We'd stream it live. Stay sponsored, of course.
Yeah.
You don't got to pay no pay-per-view, and that way you can look and see. This is what happens to you when you hurt innocent people.
Well, Myron, thank you for your time. God bless you, and I really appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, man.
Have an amazing night.
Thank you. Who's up next? All right.
How you doing, Myron?
What's up?
Assalamu alaikum. How you doing?
Walaikum salam. How are
I
you?
was just gonna ask. So you're you're a Muslim. So I was gonna say, why don't you go ever try to go to Saudi and do Umrah
One day.
one day, inshallah?
One day, yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say I really enjoyed the 6ix9ine podcast too.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked because the stories he was giving back from what happened to him. It was good to hear your guys' feedback too. Telling.
Yeah. No, it's funny because for those that are not aware of what he's talking about,
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys all know Tekashi 6ix9ine. When he got arrested for that RICO case back in 2018, I was still on the job and I was out of the Miami field office, and it was our New York field office that arrested him. So I had known some things about the case, and for example, like how he was planning to go to Connecticut to go gamble. And, they had put a hit on him at that point, so they had to arrest him before he went to the casino because it would have been a nightmare to surveil that. So it was kind of interesting to, have those two worlds clash and me tell my person, yeah, bro, this is why they arrested you.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah, that was a good podcast. I was also gonna
Yeah.
say, what do you mean with the U.S.? How we're all not we don't belong here? We're all guests or something like that.
Yeah,
I heard
so-
you talking with Sneeko about it. I
Yeah,
just
so
never really
my
understand it.
position is that the United States is not a Muslim country.
Yeah.
It is a Christian country,
Christian
right?
country, okay.
And even at best, I would say, if you're going to go,
I was gonna say, why do you see it as that though? Do you just see it?
well, it's founded by, Christian Protestants.
Yeah,
It was literally
I'm not trying to argue. I was just trying to ask.
it was,
something,
no, you're fine. It's fine. It was based on, a lot of the laws that we have are based on the Bible, right? And it was founded by Christians. Now, of course, they had the separation of church and state and all this other stuff. But the reality is, even if you look at this as a secular country, it still has Christian ethics and a Christian culture embedded into the country. So I look at it as Muslims, we're here as guests. We're the minority, which by definition means we're here as guests. And I look at it praying publicly in significant locations of American culture just doesn't look good because they're playing the Adhan loud in certain cities. They're publicly praying in places like the Times Square, obstructing traffic. That's just frowned upon and not really fair.
Yeah.
So my thing is I don't have a problem with worship at all. I don't have an issue with it. I just think praying in culturally relevant areas and documenting it and being loud about it and obstructing other people's way of life is kind of disrespectful and rude, and I don't think it's necessary.
Well, it was good talking to you, Myron.
Good talking to you too, man. Alaikum salam. Who's up next? Yo.
Respect. So A few days ago, I saw what I think was kind of a new clip of you and Steven Crowder talking.
Yeah.
And it kind of struck me when you said, I think wait until marriage is like the ideal.
Yeah.
But kind of blended in with what I understand to be your worldview on this topic is, given the effects of feminism, promiscuity, maybe more so female promiscuity, the best thing guys can do is kind of try to like self-actualize, get up into that top 10% most desired status, and then have your say, like have a body count of 30, 40, 50 women so you can learn to understand women. And so I'm sure for like most men here, that kind of sounds like a fun journey, at least at the individual level.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, like, in terms of at the societal level, is that kind of encouraging the top 10% of men to effectively create a new class of promiscuous women? Does it push us away from healthy two-parent families toward something more polygamous, like King Solomon having however many 100 wives and concubines and whatnot?
Yeah, no, I totally understand your concern, and I can quickly, for people here that might not be familiar. So my thing is this: I tell guys, I don't think guys should really think about marriage or being in a serious relationship unless they have 5 things in place, and those 5 things are simply 35 years old, make 6 figures a year, have 6 months to 1 year of savings, be in shape, and have had sex with 50 women. Now, obviously, a lot of people are like, 50 women, holy crap, what's going on here? And the reason why I say this, guys, is because we live in a new normal, and that new normal is women have way higher standards than they did before. Since women can attend college, which they are at a higher rate, graduating at a higher rate, earning more money, I predict in the next 10 to 20 years, women are probably going to start surpassing men in almost all fields when it comes to earning income. Guys need to step up because women are, by definition, hypergamous and look for a man that's better than them. So if you have these 5 things in place, you're going to be what I call an entry-level, higher status guy, where you'll be able to enter the dating market from a position of power, where you can go ahead and pick a partner suitable for you, right? That's kind of why I say these things. Now, obviously, you're coming back with a very, good criticism, like, hey, doesn't this create, a problem that we're trying to avoid with, more promiscuous people, etc. And this is kind of the ugly part and the ugly reality, which is anytime I dispense advice to one party, it's going to put the other party at a disadvantage, right? Because dating and relationships in general is an adversarial situation. I know some of you guys are like, what are you talking about, Myron? It is, because your job as the man is to attract the girl with as little effort as possible, right? If you get her to come to your dorm and smash you, it's a W. If you got to take her on 7 dates, well, that's an L for you. But, you're trying to do the least effort, right? On her end, she's trying to extract the most time, resources, and time, energy from you before she gives you any type of sexual access. It's a dance between the two genders. So anytime I dispense advice to men, it's inevitably going to put women on their back foot because I want guys to have the advantage. Now, when it comes to this situation here, my thing is I want guys to have choice, and I want them to be able to decide how they want to, move. Because the problem is that we live in a society now where if a guy gets in a relationship with a girl, right, marries her, gives her his resources, etc., that puts you in a bad position because we have a family court system literally set up to destroy every single one of you guys, right? Even with a prenuptial agreement, you can still lose everything. So I just want guys to go in with their eyes wide open because the marriage institution that we used to have, that was set up in a certain way where women didn't behave in a certain way like they do now. It was set up for women that were traditional. But now women aren't traditional, but they want traditional benefits while simultaneously being able to exercise modernity, divorce rates, etc. So to bring this all full circle, I see what you're saying. Like, hey, are we, perpetuating the problem even further? My thing is, I'd rather the guy get to a position where he's like, okay, I'm ready to settle down, and he has the prerequisite knowledge of how to deal with women accordingly, and then he picks the right one to start a family with.
I got you, man. Respect. Thanks a lot.
No problem, man. Appreciate that. I hope that makes sense for you guys.
Hello. Okay. That good?
What's up?
Hi, I was just curious. What do you think is the benefit of using words like whore to describe women? Like, who is that actually benefiting here? Besides yourself for, riling up a bunch of people for your own personal benefit.
Well, I would say the word whore is kind of funny. I've seen a couple people laughing, so I think that's who we benefit. And I think tone policing and, being politically correct, that's what's led to a lot of the problems that we have now in society. So I think sometimes people just need to be candid, and if that means being a bit offensive to do it so that you could be memorable, I think it's worth it.
What problems specifically do you think are caused by not being respectful to other people?
What problems are created by not being respectful?
Yes. Like, if you're using slurs to describe people, I would not call that respectful. What problems are caused by not being respectful here?
Well,
what problems are caused by being respectful here?
Well, here's the thing. The reality is we live in a very, how do I say this? We live in a TikTok world. And what I mean by that is you only have a little bit of time to get people's attention to really get a message across. So sometimes you need to break the silence or break the OODA loop that people are in the swipe thing. And sometimes you have to speak in a polarizing manner to get people's attention. So I'd rather, if I say something like, yeah, women need to stop being dumb bitches and whores, but, oh my God, this guy's crazy. And then I can go ahead and expand on why feminism is a problem, why guys need to go into relationships with their eyes wide open, why the family courts are set up in a position to destroy you, etc. So being polarizing is very important to getting a message across in an era where a lot of people have low attention spans, etc.
Okay, so if you're in personal benefit.
Actually, it benefits the person that's listening a lot of the times.
Disagree there.
I mean, I have thousands of guys that write me that say, hey, I was going to kill myself and I decided not to after watching your content. I'll actually tell you a quick little story. One time, a guy said he wanted to end it all because his life was miserable, and he found a nice little tree that had a good view of the sunset, right? And he was going to, hang himself. And what ended up happening is he was surfing YouTube one day, and he found one of my videos where I'm talking about not being a simp, taking responsibility, every guy can increase their sexual market value, etc. The guy's alive today, has a family, makes 6 figures, and he said it's because he found that video that he canceled the day that he was going to kill himself, and he has a family now. So to me, I look at it like if I got to call some women whores for that, so guys can wake up and realize that, there's another way, I think it's worth it.
Your sign says transgenderism is a mental illness.
Yes.
How many people do you think that has made a little bit more want to kill themselves?
You mean like trannies that want to kill themselves?
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. They already had a mental illness. Me telling them they have a mental illness doesn't change anything. They've already had these problems.
That seems a bit circular, but...
Yeah, they have way
seems
bigger
a bit
problems than
circular to say that somebody...
They have way bigger problems than me calling them fucking insane, dude. They got way bigger problems.
If you weren't calling them insane and you just let them, be people, and we didn't have to make this an issue, do you think that they would still want to?
Well, here's the thing. I'm not saying I hate trannies. I'm not saying that we need to get rid of them or whatever. I'm just saying that they have a mental illness and they shouldn't be around children. That's my biggest thing is I don't think, hell, I'll take it a step further. I don't even think gay men should be around children. I don't think they should be allowed to adopt kids. And if I had my way, I would put gays in their own part of town. And the reason why...
Love to hear that. Love to hear that.
Well, I'll go ahead and expand on this. I don't think children should be exposed to homosexuality at all.
What do you think I'm going to do here?
Huh?
What do you think I'm going to do here?
What do you mean you do here?
Yeah, what do you think the gays are going to do to the children exactly?
Well, okay. So my thing is, I don't like public displays of affection, right? I don't like PDA.
Okay.
Even between heterosexual people, I don't think it's appropriate in front of children especially. So my thing is I think gays need to go back in the closet. We don't want to know you're gay. We don't need the flamboyant, parade marches and everything else like that. And if you want to go ahead and have your gay clubs and make out and do all the other degenerate stuff, no problem. Just do it in your own area, and I don't think kids should be seeing it at all because I do think that children are the future.
Your entire deal is being a piece of shit really loudly. So why can't other people be normal loudly?
Well,
I don't care.
No, guys, respect this First Amendment, man. It's fine. But this is the factors that I'm talking about. Anyway, so we got to combat this, guys. But it's cool because we can have a discussion, right? It's very important to have these discussions. So thank you for being up here.
Of course.
Again, I think, okay, so my worldview is this. Children are the future. Children need to be protected. And if that means that we need to do certain things in society to protect said children, I'm willing to do that. So I don't think it's appropriate for gays and lesbians and other people that are sexually degenerate to be around children and or even be able to adopt them. I think that's a problem, right?
Well,
If
Okay.
they want to become an adult and then they want to learn about homosexuality and everything else like that later on, that's fine. But they could do that when they're an adult and their brain is fully developed, so they can kind of have their own worldview. But I don't think it's fair to children when they're still developing, still going through life, etc., to see these things. So that is a big reason why I have the worldviews I have when it comes to trannies and gays. I don't think kids should ever be exposed to that. I think rainbow flags should be completely banned. I think if it was up to me, I'd put gays in their own little part of town where they can go ahead and practice homosexuality openly. They can do their parades, everything like that. But then when they come into regular society, we don't want to see any of that.
I guess the last question. Do you think that that's protecting parents from having to deal with the fact that their kids aren't cishet? Or do you think that it's like, I guess here's the point. How is that protecting the kids? Because presumably some of those kids are going to be trans or gay, and if you're spending all of this time trying to make sure that they don't know about trans or gay people, then they're just going to think that there's a problem with themselves. And that's not very fun for anybody. I don't think it is. I don't want anybody to feel that way. So why should we be trying to make other people feel worse about themselves for no fucking reason?
Sure. Well, number one, kids can barely wipe their ass properly. They don't know if they're gay or not. You know what I mean? They don't know anything, right? And I'll give you guys an example. Every single one of us here probably grew up with like that one girl who's a fucking tomboy. She always wants to play basketball and hang out and play Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever it is. I'm showing my age here. Maybe Magic the Gathering. I don't know. But she grows up, and I want to be around the boys. What ends up happening? She turns 18, then all of a sudden she's a girl again, right? She's like wearing dresses, she's being pretty, etc. And you're like, what the hell happened?
Okay.
Well, imagine if she had said, I think I'm a boy, and then she goes ahead and gets transitioned and fucks her life up, right? But she grew up out of that and realized, no, I'm a girl. So kids don't know anything, and I don't think we should be deferring to them based on what they think they feel or their sexuality or whatever. It's like, she's like, oh, I'm a boy. No, you're not, bitch. You're a girl. And then boom, she grows up and she'll end up thanking you for not, transitioning her. So I don't think children should be making those types of decisions whatsoever because they can ruin their life in the process.
I think it's a bit weird to use the word children for people that are like usually at least well into their teenage years. But
I don't even think in their teenage years they should be able to make that decision.
What about at 18? What's your opinion there?
Well, at that point,
out of curiosity.
Yeah, at that point, maybe there could be a conversation, but I think when they're still kids and teenagers, they don't know anything. All of us. I'm 35 now, and I'm showing my age here. But looking back, I'm like, wow, my parents were right about a lot of stuff. It takes a significant amount of time for people to look back and realize, like, oh, they were right, or oh, I was wrong here. So I do think that 18 is like the bare minimum where we can even entertain this conversation. But even then, I still think people aren't developed enough a lot of the times.
Do you think that people know that they're straight or cis by the time they're 18?
Well, that goes on a case by case. But I don't think you're case by case. I'd say.
Okay.
But I'd say the majority of the time they're probably straight.
I don't think we're gonna get in here anyway after this. So thank you.
No problem.
Just wanted to talk for a little bit.
Thank you for coming.
You all have a good
and
night.
Talking. And guys, I know you guys were like, picking on them a little bit, but we do need to have these discussions with the other side. I think it's very important because if you don't have these discussions, you guys aren't able to make your own opinions, right? So, what's up?
So, I got one question for you.
Yeah.
If you woke up tomorrow and you became a woman, what's the first thing you're doing?
Damn, bro, that would suck. Shit. Well, I'd make myself a sandwich since I know
What type
that
of
I'm
sandwich?
an expert at it automatically.
What type of sandwich?
What was that? Get the bread ready, yeah. I don't know. I'm assuming since I'd be a woman, I'd know exactly the best one to manufacture right off rip when I wake up in the morning. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, look, as a female, people get mad at me for saying this, but women live life on easy mode in 2025, bro. It's actually nuts how it's like we're playing on fucking Halo level legendary. They're playing on recruit difficulty. So it's nuts. But yeah, I'd make myself a sandwich.
Gotcha. That's the only question I had.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks. What's up, man?
So I wanted to ask you about voting for Republicans and Peter Thiel in general. The
faggot.
Yeah, the Palantir, the neocon influence on the right wing.
Yeah.
So growing up, like during my early teenage years, I was down that right wing pipeline. Starts with Ben Shapiro, as of everyone.
Jew.
And then we get Charlie Kirk, Rest in peace. But
Yeah, all right.
yeah. So after Charlie Kirk, you start getting Nick Fuentes on your feed, and then I get you, and then I get Sneeko and all these people.
Nice.
So my question
real
is,
niggas.
I've kind of woken up to the right-wing influence of the neocons, and I feel like my vote is being wasted. If I vote Democrat, I completely disagree with all the policies that the left has. If I vote right-wing, I'm just sending my tax dollars to Israel. So how do you think you combat that? What do you do with your voice? What do you do with your vote? Is voting even worth the time?
That's precisely why we got to take our country back. That's literally why, like earlier I said, guys, hide your power level, right? Like, you know, someone was saying, oh, well, why do we need to know about Jewish conspiracies, all this other shit? You need to know it so that you understand who's in power and how to get in a position to take that power. Obviously, peacefully, we're not going to do anything crazy like that, but we're going to gain influence, we're going to get backing, and then we're going to go ahead and take the White House, and we're going to take this country back so that we don't send aid to a country that commits a genocide in 4K. Trump just sent a fucking letter, literally this morning, I think, to the Israeli government trying to pardon Bibi, right? So that's unacceptable. So the way that we're going to go ahead and, you know, be able to make it where a vote actually matters is we got to be the ones in charge. So if you guys have a similar worldview to what I have, like, hide your power level, get in positions of power, and we're going to take our country back.
How do you get to a position of power when I feel AIPAC controls 80% of Congress? It's almost impossible to win a primary.
Well, they're running now. What they're trying to do is they're trying to say, hey, we're going to... What they're trying to do is they're trying to give donations without it going through AIPAC. They're trying to do it privately. So we are making a change, right? Like, and I was one of the first people to bring this out. Like, if you go on the AIPAC website, if you scroll down, it literally says there 98% of our candidates win their elections. Like, they openly brag about owning this country. And I pointed this out years ago. But now we got them running, guys. Like, the Jewish lobby is losing influence in America. They're, constantly getting attacked. They're getting made fun of by both the left and the right. So we're definitely making a change, and I do think maybe not in 2028, but maybe the election after that, we can seriously have some impact and get these fucking parasites out of our government so that we're not sending aid to a genocidal, ethno-state.
Yeah, so what I personally believe is I agree with everything you're saying, but there's like certain opinions I can't say out loud because I fear for getting expelled from university, getting kicked out from my job. You think that will change when like the boomer generation dies or just with time?
I hope so. Because I think freedom of speech is the most important thing that we have. There's a reason why the forefathers traversed, the Atlantic Ocean and battling scurvy and dying and everything else like that in wooden boats. And when they got here, the first thing they did was, made the First Amendment, which is freedom of speech. That's what sets us apart from everybody else. So, like the gentleman before, I know some of us are making fun of him for being a little woke or whatever, but I think discussions like that are important, and that's what sets us apart from all these other countries. So we need to protect that, even for our political adversaries.
All right, thank you for your time, Myron.
No problem, man. Thank you. Maybe not so much freedom of speech for women, though. Just kidding. No, they can talk. We just ignore them. That's all. Because we all know women opinions don't matter. What's up?
What's up, Myron? I just got off work to check you out. Come check you out, man.
Thanks for coming.
I ain't here to debate you. I'm here to thank you, bro. I was sitting at home one day playing a game, saw a video. All I heard was if you're a man making 25, 30K a year, you're a loser. And look, I ain't got no college degree, but in the past year I obtained my CDLs. I'm on pace this year to make about 90K.
Nice.
Look,
Let's go.
I wouldn't consider that high value, but I'm earning value.
No, you're getting there, bro. You're getting there.
And I really just want to come here to tell you thank you, bro. For
No,
real.
thank you, bro.
The relationship advice, how to deal with women, holding yourself accountable as a man. Bro, I needed to hear that. So it was really like words from a big brother. I just want to come and thank you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And guys like you are why I do what I do. So like even when people like that guy before, like, why do you need to say this stuff? That's why I do what I do right there. That gentleman over there.
Watching you 3 years, Myron.
Okay.
Watching you 3 years.
Hey, what's up, brother?
As big as your supporter, I want to shout you out. I want to shout out Sneeko. I want to shout out Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, everybody.
Yeah.
You guys are amazing.
Those are the homies.
Listen, guys like you need to make everybody better. Because
Thank you, man.
There's too many men in this world that are falling down. And I believe that. And, I keep quiet a lot, when I'm around people. If I'm at work, I'm at work, I'm working 6-7 days a week, I'm not in college here, I'm just grinding like you guys say, do. I believe people should stop partying so much and
you guys are the fucking future, man. Like, the reason why I tell you guys, especially young guys, like, you guys are literally the future. So, like, look, when you guys listen to me, Nick Fuentes, Nico, Andrew Tate, any of these guys, make sure, you got headphones in, right? Nobody knows.
I'm getting in trouble because I'm listening to you at work.
Yeah.
Like, I'm being for real.
I know, dude. I know. You guys got to be careful, man. I don't want y'all, getting in trouble. But, guys, build yourself up. Get that influence, because I'm telling you guys, 10 years or whatever, you guys are going to be the future of the country. So that's what it is.
But
yeah, maybe I'll run for president one day. Who knows?
Myron, I want you to be careful because you're going to get bigger.
Yeah.
You're going to get
that,
bigger. You
Thank
know what I
thank
mean?
you.
Like, you got a big impact. So, like, I want you to be careful,
Thank you, man. I appreciate
'Cause,
that.
like, I don't want the same thing with Charlie Kirk. You know? But
yeah, fuck that guy, whoever did it. Whether it was that dude or somebody else, like whoever was responsible for that, fuck them. So
yeah.
Appreciate
But
that, man.
thank
Thank you.
you.
All right, who's up next? All right.
Hey, Myron.
Yo, what's up, man?
I haven't taught my dog how to do the Hitler salute yet, but we're getting there.
I wish I had Frank here. For those that are wondering, yeah, my dog knows how to do a Robin.
Yeah, I saw that last night. That was funny. I want to start out by saying it was funny. I was on Hinge the other week, and some girl had sent a controversial question to open, and then I sent her there's two genders, and she unmatched me. At first, I was like, all right, but then that kind of hit me. It's like, that is kind of crazy to think it's 2025 and just that was enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, women literally are so all the liberalism garbage that we have, it was spearheaded through feminism. That's the reality, right? Every single problem that we have, social or cultural issue that we have, pretty much feminism was the Trojan horse from which that problem came from. Because it started with feminism, then it went into gay marriage, then from gay marriage, now we're into, this whole alphabet community. So which is a Jewish construct, by the way, too. That's pretty much the spearhead of a lot of the cultural problems we have in America when it comes to liberalism in general.
Yeah. I want to comment on what you said earlier about being 35, waiting till marriage until you're 35. What do you say to someone like me who's 26 and...
Look, if you have your stuff together and she's adding value and she's a good woman and, you think, hey, I've done my vetting, I've been with her for a year or two, she's adds value to my life versus taking it, I'm not opposed to that, right? If you have 20 bodies, I'm not going to tell you, oh, sorry, bro, you got to do another 30. You didn't hit that number. Yeah. If she's the right one, she's the right one. These are just very loose parameters because I know for most men, what ends up happening is guys get into relationships with girls. They're not experienced and they get finessed. I mean, any of you guys know that fucking stupid G, Akash Singh from Flagrant? Yeah, he was talking shit to me 3 years ago saying, oh, well, this is my first woman. Because they basically brought us on their podcast to lecture us on women and how we're misogynist or whatever, or racist, which I am. But anyway, Schultz is a fucking cuck. But his wife literally came out she was talking about how she was having sex in college and being a whore, all this other shit. And she told him, oh, I was a virgin when we got married. So she fucking lied to him. It's all over my Twitter if you guys want to make fun of him for it. But that's precisely what I don't want men to be, where it's they're a virgin when they get married. They think that their wife is pure and good, but in reality, she was a whore before that, and that will fuck them up because promiscuous women tend to have really bad habits that are not conducive to a good long-term relationship. So I just want guys to go into that relationship with their eyes wide open because at the end of the day, we're the ones that take all the risk. It's not these women. You know what I mean? They don't take any. They want to get married. They want to go ahead and walk down the aisle and get married. But the problem is that they don't want to be your wife. So that's the issue and why I tell guys to go in with their eyes wide open. So look, if you're in a position where she's a good girl and you got your shit together, go for it. But you got to do it in a way where you mitigate as much risk. Also, I highly suggest you don't get married with the state involved. Do it religiously only.
Gotcha. I somewhat want to help the other guy earlier. He was talking about the gays and why you said it was so bad to keep them away. What do you have to, for all the groups? What would you say for the good ones? He was trying to get that out there, and for as little or as many good Jews, gays. What do you say to those people that are actually doing not? For example, with the gays, not doing anything bad, they're just living their life.
Oh no, there's some sensible gay people. There are. Let me be clear. I've met some sensible gay people that totally agree. We should never this open homosexuality should never be around kids. There's a lot of sensible ones, right, that tend to be a bit more conservative. But obviously, it's still a problem that we need to fix. It's a small one, right? Let's be honest. Like I think the conservatives tend to like really overrepresent trannies and the homosexual community, right? Because it gets clicks. But the reality is it is still a problem.
But doesn't that counter your point where they should be all in like one area away from society?
Well, I'm a bit more right-leaning on that. I'm saying when I say it's sensible, I mean as in like they understand that being around kids is a problem. But yeah, are they going to want to be in their own section of town? Probably not. Maybe.
Right, so
I don't know.
That goes against what you just said earlier.
It depends on who it is. But some of them are sensible and get it. My biggest thing is I just don't want their PDA and their homosexuality openly in front of kids. That's my thing.
Okay, cool. That's all I got. Thank you, Myron.
All right, no problem.
How's it going?
Don't worry, guys. I'm here all night, bro. So don't worry, guys. We're gonna be, as long as they don't kick us out, we're here.
I don't really have anything to add to the Cringe Fest. I
just
want to
cut
be
that guy out. No, I'm
productive.
just kidding.
I'm a dental student here, third-year dental student. If anyone needs cheap dental work, I do fillings, crowns, cleanings, dentures. Anthony Thompson, Instagram. You can find me. I know healthcare is hard to find out here, so dental work.
All right, bro came out to shout out dental work. Okay. Hey, well, having a good teeth is important, guys. So.
Yo, Myron, bro.
Yo,
Myron. So I've only known you for like 20 minutes now. I've been here.
Okay.
I keep hearing you say this stuff about women. I think it's a joke, but I'm just asking, do you actually think women are all stupid or like?
Well, I never said all, but a lot of them are.
So where does that start? Like, is that just this generation or is that like been going on for a while?
Yeah, they've been retarded forever. But I mean,
So
yeah.
my question is like, does that include your mom? Does that make your mom retarded? Like, does that include everyone around, like your sisters, your mom?
Yeah. Yeah, women are stupid. Yeah. They do dumb shit, bro. I mean, like my mom is pretty base because she comes from, a different part of the world and she gets it, right?
Yeah.
But she was actually the one that like red pilled me on a lot of this stuff. But, when it comes to women in general, especially like modern women today, retarded, bro.
Yeah, bro. Also, I have a question. I know you were good friends with Charlie Kirk, right?
I knew him. We weren't like good friends. Okay. He was actually supposed to come on our show towards the end of the year, and tragically, obviously, that didn't happen. But rest in peace to Charlie.
Okay, I see. But yeah. So my friend and I, like, we're always on TikTok, the internet. Do you have like an example? Yeah, bro. So like we've been seeing some like disrespectful, or you could call it disrespectful. I don't know. I have no opinion.
Yeah,
on
a lot of people were celebrating his death.
But they're making like stuff like Kirkification. I don't know if you heard that. They're putting like glizzy.
The what?
They're like, it's like this trend on TikTok, right? It's like pretty disrespectful.
Uh-huh.
They're taking his face and they're putting it on like a bunch of different pictures.
It's like glizzies and stuff like that. Like
yeah.
glizzies in his mouth.
Yeah, no, I mean people are weird, bro.
What do you think of that?
My thing is, making fun of people that passed away, especially in a way that he passed away, like just goes to show, a lot of people on the left in general or progressives are they want us dead, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would never celebrate the death of a political opponent. Like, that's just weird to me.
So what do you say to people who like make these pictures? Like, who made this picture right here?
Find God, man.
Also, I have a question.
Yeah.
So, you know how people have controversy over like who killed Charlie Kirk and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You think the media would have had a different perspective on it if someone like who looked like me, who's Muslim and who's black, would have killed him?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been crazy if that happened.
Okay, I see. Okay, that's all I wanted to ask, bro.
All right, no worries.
What's going on, Myron?
Yo.
My brother put me on to the podcast probably like 2022. Just want to say, bro, I agree with like everything that you say. I think you're great.
Thank you,
for
man. I
all
appreciate
this. I'm gonna be on the podcast one day. I'm gonna make my own channel. I'm gonna get there one day.
Okay.
But as of right now, I want to say, as somebody, at first I'm like, my generation's cooked, right? But seeing as much people come here and agree with you, shout out Ohio State.
Yeah,
because I didn't see that in the Penn State videos, none of that. But anyways, besides that, I want to say, I just don't understand how everybody around here hates what they call ho-flation, but they don't realize that them being simps is what causes it and them being cucks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It's just it's just retarded. Like,
the reality is women have zero incentive to improve because they don't have to.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there's no incentive for them to change their behavior, stop being 3 or 4, stop extracting value and being useless for men. there's zero incentive because they get everything that they want. So,
Exactly.
you know, that's, if anything, that's why it's so important for guys to be red pill aware and understand how women really move so they can navigate it appropriately.
Yeah, but for sure, man. We gotta get these hoes back in the kitchen, man.
I'm telling you, man.
Besides that, my fault. Got one more question.
Yeah.
For somebody like me who is like, I wouldn't say like woke in this generation, but somebody who just, I feel like, I don't want to say right because like what is right, but to my beliefs and to people who think like us, being in like my generation, like if you were made, I'm 19 years old, like my generation, I would say is cooked, like I said. How does somebody like me get in a position like somebody like you and stay away from all this bullshit, all this transgender, whatever, all that
Yeah,
stuff,
I mean,
you know?
you just put your nose to the ground and work really hard. I know that sounds really corny and nobody likes to hear that.
No, I know.
But, you know, a big reason why I've been able to, you know, be pretty popular and resonate with a lot of people is because, like, I worked for a while. I had a real job, right? Obviously dealt with a lot of different struggles. So, like, when I come out and I talk, people are able to say, damn, I can, you know, relate to that. So I think that's a really important thing. If you want to be a creator, that is, like, you know, people being able to, like, be able to relate. But the biggest thing, man, is when I tell young guys, like, consistency plus time equals results every single time. So I know it's hard because you're distracted. You want to party, maybe you want to. So now you guys have this extra problem of social media. So it is hard to be focused as a guy, but like you just got to tune out the bullshit and like really grind. And I would argue like nowadays, like there's even more pressure on you guys to be successful because you guys don't stand a chance if you're not successful. Like at least like when I was growing up, we didn't have to compete with social media to get bitches. But now you guys got to compete with like some fucking sheikh in Dubai who's gonna give a chick like $100,000 to fly out.
Bruh.
Like that changed the game. You know, like
Right.
Instagram absolutely changed the game when it came to sexual inner dynamics.
Yeah, for
So
sure. I drove 2 hours from Cleveland right after work, bro. Appreciate your time. Fuck
No
the
worries.
Jews, baby.
Hey man, you know what time it is? Taking America back. We got any feminists in here? No feminists? Nah. All right. I guess it's a Klan rally. Fuck it.
What up, Myron?
What's up, man?
You're here at Ohio State, so I had to ask the question: Julian Sayin or Jeremiah Smith for Heisman?
Say that again.
Julian Sayin, our quarterback, or our number one wide receiver, Jeremiah
I'll be honest,
Smith
bro. I
for
don't watch
Heisman?
sports at all.
Ah, damn.
I don't watch sports at all, but I'll go with the Ohio guy just for you.
They're both Ohio guys.
No,
bro.
shit.
They both play for us.
I don't know. I honestly, this is kind of a hot take. I think sports are a waste of time, personally. I think watching professional sports or even college sports is, you could be doing a lot more productive stuff with that time. But look, if you watch sports, you know, I'm not going to knock you. And I do understand that because I went to college too, guys. I went to Northeastern in Boston. So I understand like school pride and following your team and everything else like that. So I get that. But yeah, in general, I don't follow sports.
Damn. Okay.
No worries, man. Who's up next? Oh shit, the Arabs are back. Yo, somebody won these niggas, bro. The next thing you know, Allah Akbar, and then we all gone.
My bad, Myron. This question
Yo.
just popped up in my head. I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
So with Erica Kirk, you know, giving her speech about what happened with her husband, but then afterwards leaving and then saying her husband has similarities with J.D. Vance.
Yeah.
And you've seen her like kind of give her a hug and like kind of the feel. It's like, what do you think about that? You know,
What do you
like
think of women
Look,
like that?
Yeah.
It was
That was your wife.
It was a little sus. I ain't gonna lie.
Right, yeah.
You know, I watched it like because the pictures look horrible, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But anything if you take like a still could look wild. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
have you seen also the other videos where she's behind stage, kind of like wiping tears, like putting tears in her like eyes or kind of something like that? I seen a
Yeah,
video.
someone was saying that like she's like not really actually crying or something like that. I mean, look. You know, she lost her husband. Obviously, she's under an enormous amount of pressure. She's under a microscope. People are analyzing every single thing she does. So it's like, you know, I guess it's kind of unfortunate for her in that regard. But, you know, I'm not analyzing it too much. But, yeah, I could see how people are like, yo, what the hell? And it still obviously does look bad. But I saw, like, the full video, like, when she hugged him. It wasn't, like, the worst thing ever. But I could see why people are like, dude, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah.
It is. It could be weird, yeah.
If like, are you married?
No.
Do you ever plan to get married?
In the future, yes, but I'm going to definitely do it in a way where I can mitigate some of that risk because getting married in the United States nowadays is a very
Risky,
dangerous
very
proposition.
risky. So like if you died the way he did and like you like seen your wife doing that, like would you have the same reaction as you have now?
If my wife did what she did,
Yeah, like if you
I would never leave everything to her. Like I'd have like another guy do it. She'd be focusing on the kids.
Facts. Okay, and I have one more question.
Yeah.
So when a man like me, like, you know, I'm a Muslim man, we have to pay dowry to like the woman. How do you approach that? Because your whole like thing is that like women are hoes and whatnot.
Yeah.
How do you get a pure woman if you're gonna pay like 20,000-30,000 minimum, and a lot of these girls lie.
Yeah, you just got to give her like a really good goat instead. You know what I mean?
So like,
nah, just kidding. Nah, look, for all my Middle Eastern brethren here, I would say really start looking at going back to the Middle East to find your wife, bro. I'll keep it 1,000 with you. Like, you might have to go back to the Middle East.
But hey, they're
to do
even
that.
worse there. You think they're better there, but hey, some of
No,
them
a lot of them are thoughts.
pretty bad.
Yeah, especially Moroccan bitches. But like, yeah, like, you know what I mean?
All
But
I know is Myron, me and you, we gotta go together back there. Man.
Yeah,
I need you to find me a wife back there, because I don't know, bro. These girls, they lie a little too good.
Yeah, dude. Like, I genuinely think, like, if you're that worried about that, like, and you have the ability and access, you might have to go back to the Middle East, bro.
Facts, bro. These girls here, they're not.
Yeah, it's kind of cooked here. I ain't gonna lie.
It's kind of scary, bro.
Yeah, it's kind of cooked.
Right, Myron, you the man, bro.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All right. Oh, shit, we got invaded by the Arabs, bro. What's going on here?
I'm not Arab.
No, just kidding. What's
First,
up?
I just want to say Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Okay, I wanted to ask, are you from Sudan originally?
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask
Well, I
your
was born
thoughts-
here, but my family's from Sudan. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I just wanted to ask your thoughts on what's happening over there. I know you go to Dubai a lot. I don't know if you think they have like a play in what's happening over there.
My thoughts on Sudan, what's going on? It's terrible. You know, it's obviously a civil war between two different military factions. It's been going on for a very long time, right? I've been familiar with it. I've talked about it a few times on my show, and it sucks that it doesn't get more press coverage. It's finally starting to get some coverage now. But yeah, the things that have been going on in Sudan are horrible. And both parties, Hemeti and the other guy, are both war criminals. And, at the end of the day, the people of Sudan are the ones that are suffering because these two idiots, can't come to an agreement and, have some type of democracy. And, none of them want to give up power, which is the problem.
Yeah, I hope your family's safe out there.
Yeah.
I had another question.
Yeah.
I saw that online. You said something about, you said you were mad at Muslims praying in Times Square in public. So
I'm not mad at it. I just don't think it's appropriate.
Why is that not appropriate?
Well, as guests here, nice hat. I like it. What does that say? Make America great again?
Yes.
Yeah. I think as Muslims, we're the minority and we're guests here. And I think praying in culturally significant locations in the United States with cameras and loudspeakers and, that can be looked at in a negative fashion by others. And I don't think it's really necessary.
Okay, so you're just saying that it might put a bad perception. Sorry. You're saying it might put a bad perception on Muslims for doing something like that.
Yes.
Okay, I got you.
Because the reality is, let's be very candid here. Americans are already very perturbed by Islamic influence in the United States, right, after 9/11. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, that's all a bunch of Jewish propaganda, which I actually agree with, that, like, Jews push out a lot of propaganda that's anti-Muslim to, whether it's the war on terror and all this other shit. But if we know that that is a problem, right, and that they've been pushing out this Hizbar for a very long time, are we going to exacerbate the problem and confirm the stereotypes? Or are we going to go ahead and, worship in a manner that's respectful to the host nation and the host people? Because I truly do think that America is a Christian country, right? And a lot of Muslim scholars even agree with this, right? When they asked, I think Hasim Amim or something like that, he, someone asked him, hey, can we eat meat in the United States? Can we eat at McDonald's, et cetera, as a halal? And he said, yes, you can, because America's a Christian country.
Right.
So, if scholars are even admitting that America's a Muslim country when it comes to the concept of, like, eating meat here, if it's halal, I mean, I think that's very true. And one thing we can at least agree on, even if people want to say it's not a Christian country, that it's definitely not a Muslim country. Because if we went ahead and we flipped the script, and I always say this to the Muslims that get mad at me when I say this, if we took 100 Christians and had them go pray in front of the Burj Khalifa in UAE, there'd be problems. They would kick them out immediately.
I don't think so.
They would absolutely kick them out, bro. And the UAE, even though it's a fairly secular Muslim country, if 100 Christians lined up and prayed in front of the Burj Khalifa, there'd be problems, bro. They tell them get out of here, at bare minimum. They would not allow that.
Okay, and then what are your thoughts on all the Muslims running for in the recent elections? Zahran Mamdani. If anyone's from Columbus here in Hilliard, we actually have a Muslim sister who won the election here.
My thing is, it just got to be they got to be America first, America only patriots, right? Like, we don't want to run into the same problem where these people are, legislating laws that benefit a foreign country or enacting things that benefit a foreign country. I think, obviously Muslims can absolutely serve the United States and be patriots, but we just got to make sure that we do that so we don't run into the same problem or become the Zionists that we complain about all the time.
Yeah. And one last thing, I just wanted to ask, do you have any message to all the Zionists who are out here tonight?
For all the Zionists out here?
Yeah.
Hey, man, your country sucks. I don't know what to really, Israel sucks. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Sonic.
All right, man. No worries, bro. Do we got any disagreeers, by the way? If we got any disagreeers, we want you guys to come up. So if anyone is like a feminist or, believes in systemic racism or something else like that, I don't see any black people here, which is a good thing, I guess. But it'd be, I see like one or two. But what's up, Ed?
Hey, how's it going? I had a question. So I know we were talking a lot about Israel, Palestine, some other issues. Another one I want to talk about is I'm Ukrainian. I want to ask what your opinion on the whole war is.
Well, Ukraine?
Yes, Ukraine. Because I know you're, I assume you support Palestine being Muslim with the whole genocide. Yeah. And I don't know if you view that it's a very similar situation in Ukraine with Russia going after Ukraine. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, the problem in Ukraine is simply the United States and NATO being too invasive. Right, we kind of made that problem ourselves by, constantly expanding NATO, lying to the Russians. And
but shouldn't we give Ukraine some headway since we did give up our bombs for protection from Russia?
Say that again?
We gave up our nukes for protection from Russia. Was that not part of the 1992?
Yeah, no. That was a part of it. But again, it's a difficult situation because, let's be honest, if China came to Mexico and tried to, set up base there or put missiles there or set up any type of shop there, we'd be in there the next day, right? So we can't be mad that another nuclear-armed superpower is concerned with our influence getting closer and closer to Moscow. So I think that's a failure when it comes to U.S. foreign policy, when it comes to Ukraine. I think Ukraine is kind of caught in the middle of a fight between two different, world powers. And it's very unfortunate that, things are going on the way that they're going on right now, and that this conflict is still going on it's going to be 4 years in a month or in a couple months, which is nuts.
But does that mean that we should just give up just because, like you said with the whole Mexico thing, that we would, that Mexico should just, or China, whatever, would just give up just because that it's a world power right there, that these people are dying, that we should just, let them die just because it doesn't sound in our interest?
Well, we have two options. We could continue the conflict as is and continue to have thousands of men die on both sides, or we can concede, end the conflict now, let Russia have the territory it has, promise no more NATO expansion, and kind of salvage what we still have. Because the longer the conflict goes on, the better it is for the Russians.
I would agree with that statement, but what's to say Russia wouldn't just continue pushing in in a year or something? Because that's what happened in 2014. Is they came in, they took that in Crimea, then the war kind of paused because of this similar situation, and then 7 years later or whatever, Biden came in and it began. Who's to say it's not going to start again?
And I mean, this is again really bad foreign policy by the United States. The Maidan Revolution started this problem, right? So everyone thinks the war started 2022. It really started 2014 with us running a coup in Ukraine and destabilizing and all this other stuff. And this is honestly what we're seeing is like a backfiring of really bad American foreign policy is what we're seeing with what's going on in Ukraine. This is what happens when you run coups and you do dumb shit, and that's what's happening. And it's very unfortunate that, this conflict has been going on as long as it has and as many people have died. But I think that's an inherent risk. If we want to actually make peace, you have to take that risk of, hey, let's kind of figure out a way. Maybe we draw the enemy lines here where it's like, okay, you guys keep the territory you have. We concede that. And then, you would hope that diplomacy keeps them from continuing to push forward.
How long do you foresee this going?
Man, it can go. It's weird because it's like we're in a position now where it could end or it could go even longer. So it's very difficult to foresee because Trump is even having a hard time of dealing with Putin and stuff like that. And that's, Ukraine is literally like a shining beacon in what bad foreign policy can lead to, which we're seeing it now.
All right. Thank you so much.
No worries, man. All right. What's up, man?
Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Walaikum salam.
My name is Mohammed. I'm also Sudani.
Okay.
I was wondering, why'd you, your real name's Amr, right?
It's Amr, yeah.
Yeah, why'd you change your name?
Why'd I change it?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't know what the hell my parents were smoking,
Right.
but they made my government name Amru because I think they thought that Amr would be too hard for Americans to understand or say. So that was like their attempt at an Americanized name, which is kind of funny, but it doesn't make sense. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why. Yeah. That's
okay.
literally that's why.
How old were you when you like officially changed it to Myron?
I never changed it officially.
Oh,
still my government name.
You just go by.
I never changed. Yeah, that's another misconception from retards. They'll say you changed your name. I didn't.
okay.
I never did. The reason why I used the name Myron is because when I started doing the social media thing, I was still working for the government and had a clearance. And since I have a unique name, if you typed in my name on Google, my government name, like criminal complaints on like cases that I did would come back because all federal cases are fairly easy to find on Pacer. So that's the only reason why I use the stage name. But like once I left the government, the name just stuck. But I never ever changed my government name. Still the same one.
Okay. No, that was the only question I had.
Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, don't believe the idiots online, bro. Like my haters are fucking 50 IQ. Why'd you change your name?
What's up, Myron?
Yep. Okay, yeah. Let's get some disagreeers to line up. By the way, guys, if you disagree, if you guys can make like a quick little line on the side, so we can get some, some good discourse going. Because I think talking it out is always good. Beans, you want to handle that? Yeah, okay, Beans over here. Like, is the guy right here in the tan hoodie, the beaner? It's kind of funny. His name is Beans and he's a beaner. But yeah, right there, the tan hoodie. Yeah, just if you're a disagreeer, just like kind of set up right by him and he'll hook you up. You can sit down in that area or whatever. You don't have to like stand if you don't want to. What's up, man?
What's up, Myron? It's good to meet you, man.
Pleasure to
I'm a
meet you
big
too.
fan of what you do, and I actually had a quick question. How is your job and line of work, like doing all this debating stuff, been affected after the Charlie Kirk assassination? Like, do you think like you're more threatened to do this? Or
good question. Look, it shook me up. I'm not gonna lie to you. It definitely did shake me up a little bit because, at the time, me and Charlie were like the only ones really doing this. But yeah, when he got assassinated, I was like, what the fuck? Because we actually had, me and Sean, shout out to Sean from Uncensored America, by the way. You guys got to thank him for being the one that the reason why we're here. But when we had a show scheduled for Asheville, North Carolina, so we had to cancel it. So it hit home for us pretty hard. But, look, I look at it like, your day is always going to come. Being scared of it, doesn't really help anybody. And, if I die, I die. Honestly, I look at it like that. Like I'm not scared of death. So it's guaranteed, right? 2 things that are guaranteed are taxes and death and headaches from women. 3. So, so it is what it is, man. So obviously, we take a bit more precaution in the way that we move, but I'm not going to let these fucking radical leftists or these other people like bully us into not doing this stuff. Cause I do think that the message is important and guys need to hear this stuff. And hell, even my dissenters, like, progressives that don't agree with me, I think having a discussion on some of this stuff is very healthy discourse that allows other people to kind of make their own decisions.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
No worries, bro. Yo.
What's up? I just want to say what's up. I'm a Hill Jake who lives out in the middle of the sticks, and you brought me out of the house for the day. I was actually kind of curious what you were. I was kind of a curveball, but in Israel, that the Zionistic Jewish population is getting replaced by the Haredeh. Like right now, they're like 13% of the population, and it's supposed to go up to like 25% by like 2040, 2050.
Jews?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think they're a lot less than that, dude.
No, in Israel. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Sorry, that was my bad.
Okay, what percentage of them?
It's like 12 right now, but it's supposed to go up to like 25 by like 2050.
What percentage of what?
Haredeh, like they're the not working ones. They just don't do fucking anything.
Oh,
I don't know them?
No. I mean, there's different, types of, Jews, obviously.
I mean, all the same nonsense, but yeah, still. I ain't wrong.
Yeah. No, I'm sure you're right. But I mean, no, I'm not too familiar with that, and no, I'm just looking at that.
Fuck it.
too
I got a
much.
bunch of questions. Second, what the hell is like with all these ladies with like high successful husbands just dogging on like what the fuck, Stephen Curry's wife and then that Indian dude? Like, if that happened to me, I'd DDT that chick.
Yeah. Dude, it's like I said, we live in a society. I truly do think that we live in like a gynocentric social order, like where, obviously the patriarchy is responsible for defense and protection and, creating society. But the social order that we have is a female first, gynocentric social order, and we think that the female way of thinking and doing things is the appropriate way, which is a big fucking problem and why we're cucked.
I got another point.
All right, go ahead.
So on Instagram, we're seeing all these things online and seeing all the sodomy and all the degeneracy, social media. It's got me thinking something. Ted Kaczynski was right.
Well, I mean, he did predict a lot of the stuff when it comes to technology and
Am I
how it would
wrong?
change things, with AI and everything else like that. He passed away actually not too long ago. So
Yeah, he killed himself.
Yeah. No, he died in jail.
No, he killed himself in jail.
He actually did it?
Yeah, he was sick, and he just was like, fuck it.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. But yeah, no, he predicted a lot of this stuff. So it's interesting. All right, man. Thank you. Yeah, haters only now. Let's go with haters, or a disagreement. I disagree. Okay, sure. What do you disagree with?
I agree with like a lot of what you say, but I'm a Christian, and I think that why do you think that you should promote men to sleep with a lot of women? Don't you think it could be more powerful to teach them to deny themselves, and that can kind of improve the women also because they'll view those men as the high value men?
No, that's a very fair criticism. So the reason why is because, unfortunately, it's not 1955, it's 2025, and women are more promiscuous now than ever before. And not only are they more promiscuous, but we have a marriage institution that's set up for them to exploit and destroy you and extract value while you get nothing in return. So I'd be remiss if I didn't tell men the truth about modern women and how they operate, because unfortunately, though Christianity solves a lot of problems and religion is great, the new normal does everything in its power to destroy men for following that. So just because you're devout and you believe in God doesn't mean that she does, right? And then also on top of that, even if she does say, I fear God and everything else like that, she reserves the right at any time to become secular and divorce you and destroy your life. So that's why I'm very, that's why I'm very cautious when I tell guys, like, look, believe in Jesus, go to church, that's fine. But just because you fear God doesn't mean that she won't.
That's it.
No worries, man.
Thank you.
Who's up next? Yeah, disagreements only for now, guys.
How's it going, Myron?
Yo.
Kind of just to second what he just said. I'm a follower of Jesus Christ, and what you just said about religion and Christianity being powerful, I don't neglect that, but I think the truth lies in Jesus Christ, and that's what I think this country's missing most. What you said about religion being powerful, I think a lot of people are falling into the trap of what they're consuming, both literally and metaphorically, in this country. I think a lot of it lies in nutritional lies, media lies, whether it be music or what they're watching on TV. Like here at Ohio State, it's a bit of a party school, and so like a daily routine of a guy literally might be wake up, rip his Geek Bar, go eat like chicken tenders and watch Love Island, and that's like not an over-exaggeration. And so I think what a lot of people are circling on here is what's the truth and how can we improve this country? Like you said, it was founded on Christian values. But then again, what you just said about religion, I don't think that's powerful. I think Jesus Christ is powerful. And what he just said about women and just, not sleeping with a lot of women, if you deny yourself, like in the Bible, the most powerful man was defeated by Christ. So I think I would rather go my whole life just without a woman if it meant giving in to the sinful nature of the country and what we're seeing, because I do believe we're a country run by Satan. And so how, whether it be if you accept Jesus Christ as the truth or a man like you who's a Muslim, how do you think we can deny those, kind of satanic lies that we're being fed?
Well, I mean, first is, education and understanding, and knowing what you're up against and, how we stand. But like I said, I think if guys want to deal with women, modern women, you need to be aware of these things and how they move. Because like I said before, just because you fear God doesn't mean that they won't. That they won't. So my thing is I just want guys to go into this relationship thing with their eyes wide open, because women have changed significantly.
Yeah.
And I would argue not only have they changed, but they've changed to your detriment, and they're encouraged to do so, right? Men are taught do what's right, women are taught do what's right for you, right? Oh, if you're not happy in a relationship, just divorce them. Like that's kind of where we are now. Like a man will, make himself miserable to keep his family. A woman will destroy her family so that she won't be miserable. Two different things that we're told. So just as long as guys understand this and find a woman that has a very similar worldview, that fears God, that's what I'm saying. But the days of finding a girl and knowing that she's going to not be a 304 and she's going to be God-fearing, that's a fantasy, man, unfortunately.
I do agree with you on that notion, and I'm not saying the country and the world changing is a direct correlation with women changing, but I think, understanding that where we are as a country and a society is, one that's kind of damned. And again, as a follower of Jesus Christ, I do believe we're living in the times of Revelation. And if you read Scripture, where we are in society, and that might match and be a correspondent with where women are, and maybe if they fall victim of the standards being set. But then I encourage you to maybe have people on your podcast like you keep doing, but just kind of bring men and women, whoever, to spread religion, whether it may be. But I respect obviously you as a Muslim and other Christians here, but I think it's kind of us as Americans are losing the identity of Christianity, in my opinion, but all religion, and I think that's just really hurting our society. So if you have any disagreements with that.
No, I agree with that. I mean, I think losing, side of God and religion in general creates a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I'm just, my thing is, I agree with it, and that's precisely why I say guys need to navigate in this way now, because I do agree with that. If I didn't agree with that, I would just say, no, just keep doing what you're doing, like pretend it's 1955. No, I agree with you, which is why that's one of the ways that I think is a solution.
Sure.
There's other ways, but that's just one of them.
And then one conclusive statement is,
Then we'll go to the next guy.
Why aren't we being shown the Epstein files?
Man, the Epstein situation is a very, that's a complex situation. I've kind of explained this, but the reality is it's not just the FBI that's responsible. It's also going to be the entire IC or intelligence community. Because I guarantee the CIA, NSA, all these different agencies have files on Epstein as well, because we know Epstein was a foreign asset, and if he's a foreign asset, by definition, that means the CIA is going to have a file on him. So I think we need to start asking Tulsi Gabbard questions, because she's the head of the IC pretty much as a DNI, and the FBI only has a portion of the stuff that we're trying to see. So we'll see what happens, but I do think that the whole Epstein file debacle is one of the biggest L's for the Trump administration. So
I appreciate
no worries, man. Thank you. All right, let's get a disagreement or.
Hey, how you doing, Myron?
Yo.
I know it's a crazy statement here, but I'm a Jew, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shalom.
Ooh, crazy! Oh my God. Yeah, I'm actually from Israel, so I'm here to talk about exactly what. First of all, I want to start by saying I don't really get what the purpose of doing the Nazi salute is. Like, it's kind of like, as a Jew standing here, like, I want to talk to you, like, you say you're peaceful and stuff like that, but I really don't get the purpose of it. You know how it makes me feel, so, like, I would rather if you wouldn't do that, obviously, but, do you have anything to say about why you're doing it? Like, what's the purpose of it? You're not claiming the World War II didn't happen, so, like,
You're saying I didn't claim that World War II?
Yeah, you're not denying it, right? So
No, I'm not denying it.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I think that, the circumstances and facts around it are very questionable, and I don't think that it occurred the way that a lot of these historians and Holocaust experts are saying, because they have obviously a financial incentive to maintain a certain narrative. But yeah, when it comes to like the Roman salute or whatever, aka this, the reality is that I think that nothing should be off the table when it comes to speech. And sometimes you have to push the edges of speech to ensure that we protect speech and be able to have discussions. And this is one of those topics that for a very, very long time you haven't been able to talk about because, the Jewish lobby has a lot of power, a lot of influence, and they shut anybody down that talks about it. But it took a genocide in 4K for us to finally be able to have this very difficult conversation. But before October 7th, if you criticized Jewish power, if you talked about Zionism, if you talked about undue influence in American politics when it comes to Zionism, you would get banned off of YouTube and these social media platforms so fast you couldn't even say, shalom. So I think us having this conversation is very important. And sometimes you have to push the barrier of it, which means even doing taboo things and saying taboo things to ensure that freedom of speech stays for everybody.
Sure, we'll definitely disagree about that, but
sure.
Yeah, let's talk about Israel. Why do
Sure.
you believe it's a genocide? Why do you believe it's a genocide? Yeah.
Why do I think it's a genocide? Well, besides the fact that, we know that 60,000 people have died, right? That roughly 60 to 65,000. That's what the official number is.
Yeah, how many of them do you think are Hamas terrorists?
A fraction.
What do you
Even Israeli documents internally said about 83% of the people that got killed are civilians.
That's not true.
It's Israeli
That's
documents,
not what
declassified Israeli
that's not what
documents that leaked.
That was not what the Gazan Health Ministry is saying. They're claiming 20,000. Yeah.
The Gaza Health Ministry is saying what, 20,000?
20,000.
20,000 what?
Hamas members, contributors, whatever.
Okay, so that means 40,000 innocent people died then by your numbers.
Yeah, that's.
You think that's appropriate?
It depends on what you mean appropriate. It all
Okay, so
depends.
let me get
I don't.
this
I don't think any civilian death is good death. Always, obviously, I think it's terrible. Wars are not moral. They're completely immoral. I'm totally against them happening. But claiming that in modern warfare, a 1 to 2 ratio is completely terrible and out of the talks is crazy to me as well. I'm totally against any civilian death, obviously.
Okay, so, because here's the thing, even if we use, because the reality is going to be hundreds of thousands that are dead when this is all said and done, because there's bodies under the rubble, that doesn't account for the people that were pulverized and completely, dissipated when they were hit with the bombs. It's going to act, when this is all said and done, there's going to be hundreds of thousands that die. But let's go ahead and go with the conservative estimates. You're saying 60,000 died, and you're saying roughly 20,000 of them were Hamas, and you're saying the other 40,000 were civilians.
I mean, I could claim other things, right? But sure,
Okay,
I'll go by the Gazan Health Ministry.
Well, even that is unacceptable. 40,000 innocent people dead.
Tell
Because
me
here's
any other modern war that happened that had less civilian
Well,
ratio casualties.
Okay, so so by your definition then, or by your logic, that means that Hamas are better than the IDF.
How so?
Because when they went in and killed the 1,200 people, which by the way we know that a lot of them were killed by the IDF.
Yeah.
With the
we
Hannibal
can talk
Directive.
about that.
By your logic of you saying like, oh no, 20,000 combatants while killing 40,000 innocent people is great ratio. Then by that ratio, then the Hamas is better than the IDF, because we know 1,200 died on that day, right?
Right.
We know roughly 400 of them were IDF, which means enemy combatants. So that leaves us with roughly 800 or so that were civilians. But you can then make the argument, well, are they really civilians? Because everyone in Israel has to serve in the IDF, so are they combatants or not? But let's go ahead and assume that they're civilians. So 400 were active duty, killed, so that leaves us with 800. We don't know how many were killed by the IDF versus Hamas, because we know that a lot of people that died were killed in a manner that was far too sophisticated for Hamas to do, because Hamas doesn't have Apache helicopters with Hellfire missiles.
Okay,
That's a fact.
Okay,
and we
so
know that the Hannibal Directive was activated on that
Sure,
day.
sure.
So the IDF killed a whole bunch of their own people.
It's just conspiracy, completely a conspiracy.
There's
I have
literally
plenty-
thermal
okay.
images of them shooting at people
sure.
at the
That's just not true.
at the
But okay.
festival.
Listen, I have people that I know that have been there that day at the Nova Festival, right? That did not happen. I was in the military. I served in the Israeli military. That did not happen. You can claim that. That's a complete conspiracy.
Okay, so your position is the IDF did not kill
They did
Israelis on
not.
that day.
I mean, you could claim that something happened with Crossfire. That could have happened like anything, but no, not
Well,
on purpose. There's no Hannibal Directive. That's just not a thing.
The
that
Hannibal
happens.
Directive isn't real?
It's a thing that people claimed in the 1990s, and it's not something that's been used
Okay,
ever.
so explain to me why Yoav Gallant admitted on Israeli television that the Hannibal Directive was absolutely activated on that day, and it should have been activated in other areas on top of that.
He just did not say that.
Yes, he did.
No, let me see that.
He didn't say
Go
that?
ahead, pull it up. No, I don't know. I don't know anything of that happening.
Okay, let me find it right now for you. See, and this is the thing that's always funny whenever I debate with Zionists. Zionists always start the conflict off at October 7th, but Yoav Gallant
We can start it way
absolutely
before, bro. We can start it whenever you want.
No, but you guys always started off at October 7th.
Because it's a complete atrocity, and you believe that as well, right?
So you understand Hebrew?
Of course. When is this from?
This is Yoav Gallant on Israeli media admitting it. So
when?
I'm gonna. This was, I think, maybe 9 months to a year ago. So here we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this on the speaker for you.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll translate for the audience. So.
ישירות, אני חושב שבאופן טקטי במקומות שונים ניתנה, ובמקומות אחרים לא ניתנה, וזו בעיה.
Okay, let's play that again now. So they say,
He said in certain
was the
areas.
order given?
Yeah, he said in certain areas
to
it
use
happened in
Hannibal
certain areas.
Directive.
אני חושב שבאופן
I think tactically in some places it was, in other places it was not, and that is a problem. That's Yoav Gallant.
Yeah, sure.
The equivalent to our Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense,
I know
or
who
Secretary
Yoav
of War.
Gallant is.
So you have the defense guy, literally the head of the military, admitting that the Hannibal Directive was activated on October 7th, and even going further and saying it should have been activated in other places. And for those of you that are unaware, because some of you guys might be saying, what the fuck is a Hannibal Directive? The Hannibal Directive, guys, is a controversial technique that the IDF employs whenever they're under attack, where they kill Israelis, both soldiers and civilians, so that they are not captured and taken as hostages, because they understand that if any of those people make it back to Gaza and they're taken as hostages, they're going to have to go ahead and exchange anywhere between 100 to 1,000 Palestinians that are also being illegally held as hostages to get that Israeli back. So instead of dealing with that diplomatic nightmare, they'd rather just kill them. So that's your defense minister literally saying it. Denying that too?
No, I'm not denying it.
Telling you guys.
Again, no, I'm not denying
everything.
it. Again, he said in certain areas they used it. Even if so, it probably is not even close to being a fraction of the deaths in that day. Anyways, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, I mean, like I said, it is a factor, because that is why you guys went into Gaza and killed hundreds of thousands of people. So it absolutely matters.
Of course, because they crossed the border and killed as many people as they can find. And
so that justifies killing 40,000 people by your estimate.
So first of all, before that, you're claiming that the IDF is similar to. Shut the fuck up.
Hey, guys, let him speak. Please don't harass him. Let him speak, guys.
You're saying that Hamas and IDF are similar for the fact that IDF or Hamas killed only 1-to-2 ratio on that day. I think a lot of it.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're going to use modern warfare and ratios, by your logic, then the IDF is doing better than Hamas is doing better than IDF.
I think the most important thing is intent, right? So Hamas's intent on that day was to kill any single person they can see, right? Any person they could find. They went into houses, they raided houses, they killed babies sleeping, they killed people sleeping. They didn't really care. They killed any person they could. Israel is not doing the same.
The goal was actually to take as many hostages as they could.
That
was why they went in.
It was a combination of both. You saw the videos. I'm assuming you've seen the videos.
Yeah, I've seen the videos, but like again, the main purpose was to go in there and take hostages.
It was a combination for sure. Yeah. That also happened, but they also tried to kill as many people as they can.
Meanwhile, the IDF just indiscriminately bombed Gaza and killed innocent people all over the place.
If they had the ability to kill every single person in Israel on that day, they would have done that. Israel's not doing that.
I mean, I don't even think that's really the goal for them. Was to come in and take hostages and do an exchange. Meanwhile, Israel said, you know what, we're just going to level Gaza and bomb the hell out of it, not going to let them get food. We're going to just destroy it, kill everybody. So, again, I don't think what happened on October 7th justifies how Israel responded and how they leveled Gaza and killed so many innocent people. And the international community agrees with me on this, and pretty much everyone else does, that it is a genocide. Every scholar agrees with that. And then the retaliation from Israel was just unacceptable, especially when you guys have a very good and competent intelligence community between the Mossad and the Shin Bet and the Unit 8200. How is that you guys were able to get pagers to explode in Lebanon and kill several members of Hezbollah with direct airstrikes, then also do direct airstrikes in Iran, which is miles upon miles away, kill several generals, kill several scientists, do this surreptitiously, have bombs and pagers for 10 years, but you're telling me that you guys can't go ahead and do something more precise with Hamas, who's an inferior military right in your backyard, who has no military capability to the same degree as Hezbollah or IRGC. This is why I can never accept what Israel's done to Gaza and Hamas, because you guys have done far better against more sophisticated militaries. There's no excuse to kill the people you guys did.
Yeah, what do you think Israel should have done that day then?
What should have they done?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Did you know that Hamas put a deal on the table to return all the hostages back roughly on or about October 8th to October 10th in exchange for them not going into Gaza?
There were more clauses for that.
No. Literally, they were going to give all the hostages back in exchange for them not going into Gaza, because they knew that it was going to be bad, because you guys started pushing the Hasbara with the mass rapes and the beheaded babies, which the Zaka organization made up that lie. And they knew that they were going to get leveled. So they said, you know what? We'll give you all the hostages back. Just don't invade Gaza. And Benjamin Netanyahu refused, and they invaded anyway, because it was never about the hostages. It was about leveling the Gaza.
There should have been a retaliation. You don't think so?
Sure, they could retaliate, but retaliating in that manner, right, was just unacceptable.
So
and then
you
on top
agree
of that,
on not accepting that deal then, if there should have been retaliation?
They could retaliate, but to not accept
if they
the
agreed
deal.
to that deal.
What was that?
Not if they agreed to that deal, right?
They could have done things surreptitiously like they always do.
What do you mean?
So the Mossad has the most confirmed assassinations by far. That's all they do. I mean, you guys were able to kill the leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh, in Iran with a direct fucking bomb. Why can't you guys do that with the others? See, that's the point. The goal was never to actually get the hostages back. The goal was to destroy Gaza.
Part of it was to annihilate Hamas, of course.
No. It was to annihilate Gaza so that they can go ahead and take that land and turn it into beachfront property, like we've seen.
No.
That's the reality.
Well, I mean, only the future will tell.
I mean, they already have like schematics and like plans to literally turn it into like a whole resort area.
We'll see.
Kirshner Witkoff, they slipped up on 60 Minutes and admitted this. We saw the plans. Like they're selling the land right now as we speak at Jewish auctions. The goal was never to actually just eradicate Hamas. It was about eradicating all the people there, making it intolerable to live there. So you could go ahead and turn it into beachfront property to emulate what's going on in the UAE and Saudi Arabia, because they're trying to make some money as well in the Middle East. So that's what's really going on. It was never about getting the hostages back. And this was actually confirmed by Israeli media. The Israel Times, someone who was a member of the families, like a representative for all the families, met with Netanyahu and members of the cabinet several times. And Netanyahu said, look, yeah, this deal came across, but we're not going to do it. We want to go ahead and eradicate Hamas. And he wanted to go ahead and continue the war. Also, he's facing a corruption trial. He doesn't want to go to jail.
I won't disagree about the fact that he's not trying to go to jail. Like I don't.
I'm saying
I'm not going to. I don't care
what do you
about
disagree
Bibi
with in
Netanyahu.
particular?
No, I'm saying I don't care about Bibi Netanyahu. Like I'm not here to protect him or say anything good
That's
about
fine,
him.
but he's the reason why we had this conflict and why it's been going on so long.
It would have happened no matter what.
I'm sorry?
It would have happened no matter what.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, it probably would have happened no matter what,
who it
because the Israelis don't actually want peace at all. They want to.
I completely disagree.
They want to have a Jewish state.
No, I completely.
They want peace?
No, yeah, of course.
Okay,
that's not
then
even a
why-
question.
okay.
I want peace.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Why not have a two-state solution or a one-state solution then?
I wish for a two-state solution. I hope it happens.
It's never going to happen.
I know, because the other side doesn't want it as well.
Because Netanyahu and as well as the
No.
entire Knesset all pretty much agree that they want the Palestinians out of there.
That's just not true. 20% of the Israeli population is Arab.
Okay, that's a minority.
That's still a big minority.
And they still aren't treated equally.
They are.
No, they're not.
Completely equal rights.
Yeah, but they're not treated equally in culturally and
Because of
socially.
what? Systematic racism? Of course, that happens everywhere.
Yeah, but because Israelis love to throw that out there, like, oh yeah, we have 2 million Arabs. They're not treated the same
They
whatsoever.
They are. You just said they are.
And on top of that, like, it doesn't matter because there's millions of others that are just literally don't have any rights at all. No sovereignty, no nothing. So look, again, Israel conducted a genocide. The entire world pretty much agrees with that, to include genocide experts. Could have they went about what they did in Gaza in a better way? Yes. Even by your own numbers, which are heavily deflated, 40,000 innocent people dead is completely unacceptable, especially when we've identified that roughly 800 Israelis were killed, and we don't even know how many Hamas killed versus the IDF killed, because we know that the Hannibal Directive was actually absolutely activated that day. And then on top of that, we know that hundreds of them were killed in a manner that Hamas doesn't have the capability of doing. The Apache helicopters then burnt to a crisp in cars. Hamas doesn't have that capability.
They can blow a car up.
Not to the degree that some of those cars were destroyed.
Of course they can.
And then there's footage also released showing that they were just shooting at anyone. Because when you look at through the Apache helicopters, it's just thermal vision. So all you see is people running around. They just shot at everybody indiscriminately. So the IDF absolutely killed a significant amount of, if not hundreds, of people on October 7th and then blamed it on Hamas.
Hamas has been doing the exact same thing to their population. So even if we're claiming 60,000, I'm sure a good percentage of that is Hamas people killing.
You mean
their
like
own
Hamas
people.
killing like their people?
Of course.
Yeah, they kill collaborators, yeah.
No, they kill any.
They kill collaborators. Like all the footage we've seen, those are all like other clans that collaborated against Hamas that they're killing. Now, again, I'm not here to apologize for them. I don't care. But the reality is, if we're going to go ahead and call a Hamas a terrorist organization, so is the IDF. I would argue the IDF is a bigger, better, well-funded terrorist organization, and they commit way more atrocities and kill way more innocent people. It's not even close.
I completely disagree.
Okay, you could disagree with facts, but the facts are the facts, and I gave the numbers, and I think everyone here that's listening probably would say I have a stronger case in this one.
That doesn't matter.
You know what I mean? Like you have your literally your defense minister admitting that the Hannibal Directive was activated that day. We had the numbers and know who was killed. We know based off of even Israeli documents that the majority of people that have died are innocent people. I mean, it's just unacceptable, and this is why no one likes Israel, and this is why people are being critical of Jews. And let's be honest here. Let's have the real conversation. The real problem here is Jewish supremacy. Jews don't think that other lives matter more than theirs. They don't care about Palestinian life because it's embedded into your guys' ideology.
Okay,
it's embedded into your guys' ideology. You guys literally call yourselves the chosen people, and because you guys have this supremacy ideology, when you guys kill others, you don't care about it, and that's fine. But this is why the whole world is turned on Israel and Jewish people in general.
Is it different with the Muslim people? Is it different with the Muslim people?
In what way?
What they believe in. You're talking
Like
about
when
how
Muslims kill each other?
how Jews are supremacy or whatever in the Talmud.
Well, Jewish
or
supremacy
Torah
is
or
very
whatever.
real.
Yeah. What about the Muslim one then? How's
I mean,
that
we could do
different?
whataboutism all day.
Yeah,
like,
because
there's
I don't get
problems
the
that-
purpose. What are you getting from
there's,
saying
there's
that?
problems.
It's
there's
true to every religion. It's just not like you're doing nothing by saying that.
because with Jews it's a lot different because it's tribal, and then you guys are not inclusive. You guys are exclusive. You can't really
we let
convert to
people
Judaism.
live-
You guys make it very difficult
Yeah,
on
we
purpose.
let
And then
2
it's an
million.
ethno-religion. It's not just a religion. It's also an ethnicity. So there's atheist Jews, there's Christian Jews, there's Muslim Jews. You guys think that you're better based off your ethnicity. You guys call yourselves the chosen people.
Okay,
And that is why you guys do the shit that you guys do. This is why you guys kill innocent people and say, oh, well, Hamas, self-defense, we have a right to exist, blah, blah, blah. But what it really means is we have a right to exist at the expense of others' right to exist. Our right to exist overrides everybody else, and no one wants to call that out.
Jews cannot live anywhere else in the Middle East, pretty much. What is your answer to that?
Well, the reason why is because you guys stole the land.
It happened way before Israel.
What happened before Israel?
Jews did not live equally. They had to pay jizya in order to pray.
Yeah, but Muslims, at the end of the day, actually, no, it's the Muslims treat you guys the best. Out of
That's just not true.
When you guys got exiled from Spain in 1492, who took you guys in? The Ottomans.
the
did.
Ottomans.
Yeah. And you guys were in a really bad spot at that point because you already been kicked out of like 109 different countries at that point. Like, dude, if I get kicked out of 109 bars, it's not the bars. It's me. I'm doing a bunch of bullshit.
I've heard that, yeah.
Like, that's the reality, and no one wants to say this. Like, Jews have been responsible for a bunch of bullshit throughout society, right? Right? Like you know, whether it's usury, coin clipping, poisoning wells, blood libel.
Yeah, you can find anything
This
on
is all
any
real
certain
shit.
religion. You can find that everywhere.
Yeah, of course.
So again, you're
There's
saying
inherent
nothing. You're
problems
saying a
with
lot
all.
of things, but actually saying nothing.
But here's the difference. I could talk shit about Muslims all day. I could talk shit about Christians all day. When I talk shit about Jews, that's when we start getting canceled. That's the point.
That's just not true.
Really?
Yeah. Who do you see go there, goes and says, "Oh, Muslims, blah blah blah"? It doesn't happen.
Shot for what? Oh, speaking of how he gets to
He could have got shot for a lot of reasons.
Well, I think the point is that if I was to say, here, you know, let me give you a perfect example. Randy Fine, you know who that is, right?
I don't.
Okay, he's basically a politician from Florida, representative from Florida, that talks shit about Muslims in Gaza all the time. One of the tweets he made.
What is that example? Okay.
Well, he's a hardcore Zionist and a Jew. So
what?
One of the I'm going to show you the double standard here. One of the tweets he made was, Gaza will run with blood. We have a Muslim problem in America, blah, blah, blah. Now, let's flip it. Let's say Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar, two politicians I don't agree with because they're leftists, but let's imagine they said the streets of Tel Aviv will run with blood. Oh, we have a Jewish problem in America. Do you think they'd still be able to be representatives?
Yeah.
No, they wouldn't be. They wouldn't be. Ilhan Omar said Israel pays everything revolves around Israel financially, and Rashida Tlaib said from the river to the sea will be free. Both of them got heavily admonished for that. Okay. Meanwhile, Randy Fine's able to make genocidal calls with zero consequence. So the point I'm trying to make here is that America is absolutely run by Jews, and that's a problem.
I do think Jews are overrepresented. I don't think it's run by Jews.
If they're overrepresented, okay.
It just means they're doing a good job. It doesn't mean anything else.
Yeah, what do they do with that good job when they're overrepresented? They use their power and influence, right? This is the concept of world Jewry, which is also real that everyone wants to fucking deny. They use their power and influence to benefit the state of Israel to our dismay.
Okay.
You disagree with that?
I don't necessarily disagree with the fact that Israel is a good thing for America. And
It's not
America abuses
I
that.
disagree. I think it's a very bad thing for America.
You could think
we
so.
don't get any benefit from supporting Israel at all.
Except
if anything, you guys create geopolitical nightmares for us.
Again, the issue is we have completely two different histories, right? You believe that 9/11 happened because of the Jews. I don't, right?
Well, hold on. I never said 9/11 happened because of the Jews.
Oh, sorry.
What I'm saying is that there were Zionist fingerprints all over 9/11, and they absolutely had foreknowledge and allowed it to happen and facilitated it.
Okay. So the Jews are the issue in this case.
Well, they were a part of it, yes. But so was Saudi Arabia, and so was the American government. The difference is that Israel's supposed to be our greatest ally, and we give them a lot of aid, so that's unacceptable. But this is irrefutable. Israeli intelligence assets were absolutely in New York City observing the towers get hit and celebrating.
You're talking about like 5 people that were there?
Oh, no, there were more. There were several moving companies.
Yeah,
that
how many other groups of people celebrated that day? And countries?
I mean, there's a difference between intelligence officers from Israeli intelligence celebrating in New York City as it's happening versus other people in other countries. That's a lot different. And then on top of that, there were other intelligence assets that were Israeli that were all over the United States at the time conducting this and allowing it to happen. It wasn't just 5. Basically, Israeli intelligence operations were using movie companies as fronts to follow the terrorists around and knew everything that was happening and allowed it to happen.
That's a complete conspiracy.
I'm sorry?
That's a complete conspiracy.
Okay, so explain to me how when those 5 dancing Israelis were caught, 2 of them were identified by the FBI as intelligence assets for Israeli intelligence. Explain to me how several other Israelis were caught with permits to do work at the World Trade Center days before the towers hit, that were caught in a whole scheme in Tennessee with fake documents. Explain to me how the movie company, Urban Moving Systems, was owned by a guy named Dominic Suter, and he fled to Israel right after 9/11 happened when the FBI was doing search warrants at the locations. He was also funded by Israeli intelligence. Is that all a lie too?
No, I'm not saying it's a lie.
This comes from declassified federal documents. This isn't even me talking crap. You can look at the 302s yourself.
I'm sure you can find a lot of things for both sides.
Yeah, but the difference is that these guys are supposed to be our allies.
And they are.
And they facilitated and
they
allowed the
very much
worst
are.
terrorist attack on American soil to
Israelis
ever happen.
love America.
What was that?
Israelis are very big allies to America.
I don't.
It's not a lie.
I don't think it's a two-way street. I think it's a one-way street. We give them all the benefits and they fuck us up and fuck us over.
Sure.
And I honestly think we should stop giving you guys aid altogether and let you guys fend for yourselves in the Middle East.
Anyways, in order to end on a good note, what do you think should the future be for the Israeli and the Palestinian people?
Well, we need to find a way to bring peace between the two, because if we allow the Israelis to keep having all the power and leverage that they have zero incentive to make a 2-state solution or a 1-state solution. So we need to make it where us giving them aid or supporting them is 100% contingent upon them actually giving the Palestinians some type of right of return or some type of sovereignty, whether it's you create a 2-state solution or you make it a 1-state and give everybody equality. We need to make it where we're not going to support them anymore unless they actually do that. The problem is that the Israelis keep trying to kick the can down the road, bring more Muslim countries in through the Abraham Accords versus actually finding peace. And that's actually another big reason why October 7th happened.
Oh, I know it. I know it's one of the reasons.
What was that?
I'm saying I know it's one of the reasons.
Yeah, it's one of them. The building the temple, all these different things have been an issue for a long time.
What do you think the Palestinian people would be okay with? Like, what are they going to accept? What deal process?
I think at this point they'd accept a 2-state or a 1-state, either or.
For 2-state, how much, like, percentage of the land do you think? What part of the land?
Probably 67 borders is what I'm guessing.
Do you think they would accept that?
I think they would, yeah. At this point, yeah. They probably would. But the Israelis are still trying to take more land, expanding the West Bank all the time and making more legal settlements. So.
All right. Well, I hope you have a good night.
No worries, man. Thank you for coming up. We could agree to disagree. But I think I made my case for you guys. And that's the beauty of free speech, guys, right? We can come in with our different opinions. Guys, don't harass them, by the way, please. Be respectful. What's up, man?
Okay. The Ukrainian guy came up earlier. My
Yep.
parents are from Russia, and I just think
He's like, fuck that guy.
No, that's actually the opposite of what I'm saying. I think it's kind of disingenuous to say that Russia, was just being, a victim of NATO aggression, because Russia also invaded Georgia in 2008 and took half of their land. And then they had a bloody war with Chechnya when they wanted to do anything. There's been a longer history of this than just Ukraine, and Putin does not care for human rights or anything. I just think it's wrong to say it's NATO's fault.
Neither do we. The problem is this. Let's be very honest here. World superpowers get away with doing all types of war crimes because they're world superpowers. We did the same in Iraq. We had no reason to invade Iraq, but we did. I would argue, actually, if I'm going to be very honest here, I would argue the Russians have far more justification and right to invade Ukraine than we did invading Iraq.
I think that's kind of a whataboutism.
Well, it's not about whataboutism. It's about the reality that world superpowers invade sovereignty. Disrupt sovereignty and commit war crimes all the time because they don't have to be held accountable because they have nukes, and that's what it comes down to, having the monopoly on force. Yeah, it could be wrong, but the reality is we do the same exact shit, and I would argue we do worse. Sure. Russia has way more justification to invade Ukraine than we did Iraq.
Well,
we invaded Iraq for the Jews, actually, if we're going to be all the way honest.
I just don't think it's entirely fair. Okay, I think it's a bad point. Yeah, I think the invasion of Iraq was unjustified, but you're trying to defend the invasion of Ukraine, saying, NATO was expanding, whatever.
No, I'm not. I'm saying why. I think it's very important to understand the why and why things happen.
Sure, it can be a why, but you can also say why for Iraq. That doesn't make it right. And I think
no, it's fucked up. I agree with you.
How is it possible?
I'm not disagreeing with you that it's fucked up. I'm just telling you that like this is the reality of geopolitics and how world superpowers operate.
But then why would they invade Georgia? What's the reason for that?
I'm not too familiar with why they invaded Georgia. I'm assuming it's probably something to do with national security. But when it comes to Ukraine, we know that was pretty much because of NATO expansion, and they felt that NATO was expanding and the West was getting too much influence in Ukraine, which you can see now they were kind of right. Look at how much support we're giving Ukraine right now. So they absolutely fell under our sphere of influence, and for them that was too close to home, and that's why they invaded.
Yeah, I mean in Georgia they had free fair elections where they had Sakartvelo, or not. That's sorry, they had like this guy who was somewhat pro-West, but there were no like bases being created. Like,
well, this is why I'm like a hardcore anti-war non-interventionist because we run into problems like this. Like we're over here saying, "Oh, Russia's so evil for invading Ukraine," but we've been meddling in their affairs for a very long time. I mean, this is what happens when you become an interventionist. Like, you're going to deal with consequences. Like Russia was like, "Yo, you guys are falling way too much into U.S. sphere of influence. We're going to invade." Well, they were kind of right because look at how much we're backing up Ukraine right now. So that's why they did what they did. And I think having a foreign policy where we're constantly meddling in other people's affairs sets us up and puts us in really bad situations. And that's why we're stuck in this war now to this day. And that's why we're still stuck in the Middle East as well, right? We're fighting Israel's wars for them and are giving them aid. So I think this whole, war hawk, neocon foreign policy is an issue.
Okay, as long as I just felt like you were kind of defending the invasion. That was my issue there. And then,
well, I think that their invasion is more justified than our invasions.
Okay, my second question would be you talk about like the Jewish world order and all that stuff, but I would argue that a lot of clearly some of the biggest pro-Palestinian voices are Jewish, and I don't understand how you.
No, I agree with that, and that's why I never say all Jews.
But then why do you always say like hot Jew or whatever? Like why can't you say Zionist? Why do you do that?
Because it's important to understand that most Zionists are Jews. Well, excuse me, most Jews are Zionists, right? Though there is a percentage that isn't. And the reality is we do have to identify the problem sometimes, and a lot of times it comes down to world Jewry and the tribalism that a lot of Jews express when it comes to the defense of Israel.
I guess that's it. All right.
No problem.
Thank you.
All right. Disagreement or?
Yeah, stop. Disagreement of question. I'm back.
Yeah.
So like for your big thing, like initially you were saying 35, 6 figures, 6 months of savings, and like sleep with 50 women, right?
Yep.
Well, my only question is like I agree with most of that. I really do. I agree with most of the stuff. But one thing, like, how can every guy sleep with 50 women and then there still be chaste women? That's kind of what I'm confused about.
And still be what?
Like
Chaste women?
Yeah, like good women.
Well, the reality is most guys are not going to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the thing is that most men are virtually invisible to most women.
I know I am.
Yeah. So, like, yeah. So like, it's only going to be a few guys that decide to do the work anyway, because most guys don't want to do all that.
And then another thing, this is like a psychology thing. I mean, not, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of, like, Bible thumpers, Quran thumpers, Torah thumpers. Like, for example, like I saw Matt Walsh. He was going off on you and a couple other people. And he was...
No, he went off on me? Shit, what I do this time?
Well, yeah, I don't know, Tuesday. But he was going off, and he was like, the divorce rate isn't 50, it's 33, idiot. And I'm like, well, that's still fucking a third. What, like, how much better is that? Like, what's with them thinking that we're still in the 50s and still in this age where that's, like, attainable? It's fucking nuts. I mean, look around.
Well, that's the problem with, like, trad cons and, a lot of these, like, influencers. Like, they don't live in the real world a lot of times. Like, Matt Walsh is like, I'm married, why can't you make... Like, he doesn't understand that, like, the women that young men have now are not the same young women that he grew up with. You know what I mean? Hell, like, even the girls from my generation are different because they didn't have social media and grow up with a cell phone like your guys' generation. So they're completely out of tune and out of touch with what young men deal with. And this is a big reason why, so many of these TradCon influencers, like, their base is older. They're not young men, right? That's why guys like me and Nick and others, like, we get it. Like, and that's why we resonate a lot better with younger men, because we know what the fuck you guys are going through. These guys are fucking completely delusional and don't know what's going on.
It's kind of frustrating to watch because it's like, you see, they'll even have kids our age and they'll just still not get it. Like, I get if my dad doesn't, he's old as fuck, but like when they don't get it, it's like, and they're in the mix, seeing this stuff. So I just never got it,
Yeah, they're retarded, dude. Yeah. That's one of the biggest blind spots that a lot of these trad conservatives like have is like they just don't know what it's like to deal with modern women as a young guy. Thank you, man. All right, who's up next?
Hello, I got a
Yo.
question. It's more like it's about I can't even say.
Trannies?
But
Okay.
Yeah.
Just call them trannies. I just call them trannies. It's fine. It's easier.
Can you name a single major? And I'm not very educated, so it's more like I want to see your opinions on it.
Yeah.
But can you name a major medical or psychological organization that classifies being transgender as a mental illness?
Well, they'll never do that.
Well, why is that?
They would consider it unethical and fucked up. They would never do that. So that's like me just being a real nigga and saying it. But but like they would never ever do that.
Yeah. So why would you consider it a mental illness?
Because there's two genders, and if you don't understand what gender you are, something's wrong with you. And a lot of these people tend to have issues with being something like 80 or 90% of them are on some type of antidepressant medication. It's just like something is wrong with you if you don't know what bathroom you should be going to.
Okay. And so that kind of answers a little bit of my other one. Do you also believe homosexuality is a mental illness, since that used to be a medical view, or can medical understanding evolve?
Yeah, I think I think something's wrong with them as well. Yeah.
Okay. So like overall, do you think like not like respectfully, do you think your personal beliefs like overview like medical beliefs? Because like medically, they don't think of it as like a mental illness.
Yeah, I mean they're not gonna because they don't want to be offensive. There would be all types of like ethical problems with them saying that. Like if you were to say, oh yeah, well mentally, transgenders are mentally ill, they'd be, this actually comes back to that. Remember that gynocentric social order I was talking about?
Yeah.
Like since women run, especially when it comes to the psychology industry now, women are starting to dominate there. And when it comes to that, women by nature are more communitarian and let's all be in our feelings and be nice to people and everything else like that. So of course they're not going to label transgenderism or homosexuality as a mental illness, but it is. Something's wrong with these people.
Okay, but studies show that actually like people who transition tend to be like not be as depressed or have problems like that they used to face.
That's not true.
You don't.
People that transition and people that have people that identify as transgenders overwhelmingly have mental issues and have a high rate of being on antidepressant medication or being on some type of mental medication.
Was that before or after they transitioned?
Both.
Okay, so you think it like after they transition, it would rise up rather than like lower?
Well, I don't know. Everyone's different, but I think putting in hormone blockers or putting in hormones in you in general is going to probably lead to some instabilities.
Okay, so you think
it's
there's
not
more,
natural.
So you think there's more like negatives rather than positives? Or do you think there's any real positives?
To trannies? They provide zero value to society. Gays too, zero value to society.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Hi,
You.
Myron.
What's up, man?
I just want to start saying, so I'm Jewish. I lived in Israel for a certain period of time.
All right.
And
he said he's Jewish and he's lived in Israel for a certain period of time.
Yeah, and one of my closest friends is also Arab, and I'm still in touch with him until this day, and he's one of my closest friends. So I do want to say that there's a lot of people there that do want to live in peace.
Sure.
But I also want to start saying, so you obviously criticize Israel, the Israeli government a lot. So I kind of like don't understand why you don't criticize Hamas also, because I know there's a lot of peace treaties on the table that Israel has offered Hamas in the past, and they just didn't accept it. So obviously, I thought the most beneficial thing for them would be to accept it, to end the war, obviously.
Well, okay. So when it comes to the peace deals, a lot of the times it's not a good deal. Israel breaks a lot of the ceasefires. And here's the thing: I've criticized Hamas as well. Like, the thing is that we never. It's not Hamas that Hamas gets criticized no matter what, right? But we don't criticize the Israeli government or the IDF for what they're doing. It wasn't until they did what they did in Gaza that we finally, started actually talking about this topic. So that's kind of what it is when it comes to that, why it's a problem. And then let's just be honest here. What Israel's done over the past 2 years has been an atrocity, a genocide, and they've killed more people in the past 2 years than Hamas has ever done. Probably any of these organizations, whether it's Hezbollah, Hamas, etc., they've killed more than they've done probably all combined, because when this is all said and done, it's going to be hundreds of thousands that died. That's one. And then two, the other question you asked was about Israel and Arab relations, or what was the other one?
No, I just want to say
the ceasefires, right?
Yeah,
or the deals.
Ceasefires.
Oh, the other thing is that, when it came to the hostage thing, the hostage negotiations, Hamas understood that the only levers they had was the hostages. So they had to negotiate from a position of, well, we want the war to completely end. One of the biggest things that held up the conflict was Hamas said, we'll give you guys all the soldiers back, all the hostages back, but we need a permanent ceasefire. Netanyahu wouldn't concede to that.
Yeah, but it didn't happen. They didn't really offer. I heard every time like we offered them something, they just opposed to it, and they didn't really want to accept. We released a lot of prisoners that were they did convicted crimes. We released them back to Hamas for them to have it for the hostages. So obviously, I feel like Israel
That's the minority.
Did try.
The minority of people that were actually like criminals in these hostage exchanges, that was the minority. The majority actually were like innocent people. Like another thing too is like it's funny because like Israel will say, "Oh, give us back our hostages." Israel has like 11,000 people imprisoned, and a significant amount of them are in prison without charge, no trial, no due process whatsoever. They're just sitting in jail. And on top of that, they like get raped by the Israeli government. Like they literally, one guy got sodomized on camera, and when they tried to arrest those soldiers and put them in jail, Israelis rioted and said, "Yo, we need to release these guys because we have the right to rape Palestinian prisoners."
I mean, obviously, I don't think that's really true because I do know. Okay, so maybe
there's footage from the Tenemon prison of them sodomizing a Palestinian prisoner.
So nobody's like above the law in Israel. So obviously, there's also soldiers that they go to prison jail for doing those kind of stuff that they did. Some of those soldiers do go to jail for doing those kind of stuff, and nobody's above the law in Israel. So there are a lot of instances where some of those were convicted. They try to kill people, and I know there's a lot of stabbing occurrences also that everywhere in Israel trying to occur. So like,
yeah, I get it. You're saying that some of them get held accountable.
Yeah,
but the point I'm trying to make is that they raped the guy on camera. Footage came out. They went to jail.
I agree with you.
After they went to jail, people literally rioted and said, we need to release them because we have the right to rape our prisoners in our jails. And then on top of that, it gets even better. Like last week, like Netanyahu got pissed off at the woman that authorized the release of the footage, and she's going to get arrested, or she already got arrested now at this point. So, he's not mad that they raped the prisoners. He's mad that the footage came out.
Yeah, okay. So I also have a question.
That's your government.
I guess. I also have a question about the two-state solution. So the Palestinians, they got offered that at 48, 67. They got offered that a bunch of times, but they always kind of want to refuse for that. And I know there's a lot of instances where in 67, I think we offered them a two-state solution. There were the Oslo agreements, obviously, which gave them authorization in the West Bank. And obviously Israel pulled out of Gaza in 2007. I think sometimes around that, and left them have their own government and stuff. And the result was creating Hamas. So what do you think about that?
Okay, so I love when Zionists bring up this thing. All the deals, the partition plans that the Israelis came up with were not fair. They were all absolutely lopsided, and no one with half a brain would accept it. For example, so let's start with 1937. 1937, there was a Peel Commission, right? Yeah. With the Peel Commission, Ben-Gurion admitted to his son in his memoirs back in October of 1937 that the whole purpose of the Peel Commission was to kind of get in front of the international community and say, look, we're legit. The state of Israel is legit. We want to go ahead and have some type of peace. And I think at that point they had agreed to like maybe 20% of the land or whatever it may be. But they simply did that to just kind of come out into the international community for legitimacy. But the purpose was always to expand more territory and eventually kick the Palestinians out. This is what Ben-Gurion said in his memoirs to his son. So they negotiate in bad faith. Then you fast forward to 1948 with that partition plan. The Israelis wanted 56% of the land, despite only owning 6% of the land that they actually paid for. They wanted the Palestinians to have about 40% of the land, and they wanted all the best land with the best farmland. They had their labor unions, which they were pushing out Palestinians, and they couldn't work. And they wanted and they were only about 30% of the population at the time. So they wanted 56% of the land, even though they only owned legally 6%, and they're only 33% of the population. So of course the Palestinians said, fuck no, we're not agreeing to that, right? So, and then we can fast forward to the Oslo Accords because that's the next major one. With the Oslo Accords, that was a bullshit deal too, because what ended up happening was Yasser Arafat conceded a whole bunch of things to the Israelis. He conceded recognizing them as a state, denouncing terrorism and violence, and their right to exist in peace. That's a huge concession. What did the Israelis give? Nothing except for accepting the Palestinian Authority and recognizing them as some type of authority. But they gave them no sovereignty. And quite frankly, the Palestinian Authority acts as just another label, another level of Shin Bet. So they didn't get any type of autonomy whatsoever. And what they agreed to was like, okay, we'll continue to negotiate and have more discussions. Well, what happened? Yitzhak Rabin gets assassinated by a far right member from the Likud party, that's the party that Benjamin Netanyahu is a part of. And to this day, Yitzhak Rabin's wife thinks that Netanyahu is behind him getting killed, which I wouldn't be too surprised, because who came into power after Yitzhak Rabin? Benjamin Netanyahu. And then since Benjamin Netanyahu's been in since like 1996, what he's been doing, he's been trying to sabotage the two-state solution since forever. And he got caught admitting this in the West Bank when he was talking to a bunch of settlers in Hebrew. He got caught doing this. So what's my bottom line here? The bottom line is that the Israelis will go ahead and put out an olive branch saying, like, let's go ahead and have diplomacy and have peace. But they do everything in their power to sabotage it or give them a fucked up deal that they know that they're not going to accept. And that accounts for the Clinton administration when they try to go ahead and have deals then. It's all bullshit. It's if you actually look at the terms of the deal, no one would accept it. And at the end of the day, it's never about them getting any type of sovereignty. And they've been expanding the West Bank legally since. That's why they gave them Gaza, as a matter of fact, because they looked at it like, okay, we're having problems here in Gaza. It's too much of a headache. Let's give them Gaza and then continue to expand the West Bank. And that's what they've done.
Yeah, but that's like illegal settlers, though. I feel like
you
they're
said
also
legal?
Illegal.
Yeah,
Like, that's illegal settlers.
100%.
That's like not like they're not authorized by Israel to like do that. Like Israel doesn't fund them or anything like that.
But they're still expanding.
To, like,
And actually, a lot of our tax dollars go to those
there's
West Bank
also
settlers.
20% Arabs in Israel. So, I mean, you can like say legitimately it's the same thing, kind of. There's also 20% Arabs in Israel. So if there's also a few settlers in the West Bank, I don't think they're what percent.
The majority of those settlers are like American Jews. Like, I find it absolutely preposterous that some Jewish dude from Brooklyn can go over to Israel, set up in the West Bank, and kick a Palestinian out and say, "Oh yeah, this is my land. It was promised to me 3,000 years ago by God."
I mean,
that's absolutely nuts.
Nah, you're right about that. I don't support illegal settlers. I don't support that. But like, also, so my main question is about the intifadas, all about that. So obviously Israel is securing more the West Bank kind of since that happened. So my question is like, what do you think about that? That about like the more strict borders kind of. So I think obviously there was a reason for that.
Well, here's the ugly truth. Until Israel gives the Palestinians some right of some sovereignty and some like human actual rights and decency, they're never going to have peace.
Yeah, but for that to happen, I feel like just they're going to have to get rid of Hamas somehow. And I feel like Israelis, they obviously fear for their
Hamas
security also.
Hamas was created due to the occupation. Like,
no,
Israel's created a lot of the problems that they complains about. Like, oh, Hezbollah hates us. Oh, the Houthis attack us. Oh, Hamas hates us and they attack us too, IRGC. All of these, terrorist organizations were created because of Israeli occupation.
So do you think that if Israel stayed in Gaza after 2007, that wouldn't happen? You feel like that would have been a better solution?
That was a strategy to continue expanding in the West Bank. There was an Israeli politician. His name doesn't come to me now, but he said in Hebrew basically, hey, this is a throwaway. Let's give them Gaza so that we can focus on expanding the West Bank, and that's what they've been doing.
I feel like you don't really have any proof of that, though. That they pulled out on purpose to fund Hamas. Like, you don't have any proof of that.
They pulled out on purpose to expand the West Bank.
Yeah, but you're saying Hamas is also Israel's fault.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're saying, how are you saying, like...
Okay, let me ask you a question. If I give you a bottle of Coke and you shake it up,
yeah,
and you open it, what's going to happen?
It's going to explode.
Okay, whose fault is it that it explodes? You or the Coke bottle?
No, me.
Okay, that's exactly what...
but it's not like direct. They didn't direct fund Hamas or like...
They actually did fund... Netanyahu actually did fund Hamas.
I mean, that's also like, you don't really have any like... can you show me any proof of
He
that?
facilitated their funding from Qatar. He allowed the money to flow through.
Like, I don't see any proof for that. That would have been all over the news if that was actually
you do understand
proof.
that Israel controls everything going in and out of Gaza, right? Completely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But also,
how do you think they were able to starve them for all these
I mean,
this time?
They do put like they do send food trucks, which I support. Like, but like Hamas also like takes half of the food trucks also for their own benefits.
That's not true.
I mean, there's videos for that.
That was other clans blaming it on Hamas, but that was not Hamas that stole a lot of that food.
Think
about it, bro. Why would they expose themselves from the tunnels and let's go ahead and go steal this food and expose ourselves to getting attacked by the Israelis? Like, no.
Yeah, but
that's another Hezbollah lie about them stealing aid and then saying, oh yeah, we bring in all these food trucks. They absolutely starved the Palestinians. Like, that's not even. You got all these stupid influencers like, look at all this food over here. It's like, yeah, it's not in Gaza, dumbass.
Do you think this should just let them into Israeli borders? You think that's the solution? Why doesn't Egypt open their borders also? They have a border with Egypt. Why can Egypt let Palestinians flee into and get some food also, and send food trucks also. They also have a border with Egypt.
Okay.
Israel supports their water, their electricity, their food. Why isn't Egypt also doing something? Like you blame everything on like Israel and the Zionists and stuff like that also.
Okay, so let's say you got let's say you have a dorm room, right? And you have a roommate, right? You have a roommate, I'm assuming?
Yeah. I have a
Okay.
roommate.
Let's say one day you go to class and you come back and like they took over your side of the dorm and tell you, "Hey man, you can't come back in here." Right? And you just get locked out. Would your neighbor host you?
No, but
Okay, hold on. Why? And you're a nice guy. Why won't they host you?
I mean, no, they might
Because you inconvenience
They
them
might
probably.
actually because they're my friends. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
they're my
they host
friends,
you.
yeah.
So they host you for how long then?
I mean, until like maybe until the war is over, they can. I mean, I'm not saying like they should flee their homes because that's actually like it shouldn't happen.
But do you
like,
get my
I
point
feel
here,
like-
where it's like,
yeah, I
wh-
do.
Why,
I do get
why
your
are
point.
the Egyptians?
But
Why are
also,
the Egyptians going to take them
Okay.
in when they have their own home? Like it doesn't mean that they hate the Palestinians and they're bad people. Like, oh, we don't want to take them in because they're Palestinian. No, why should they take them in when they have their own home?
Yeah, but you're making this point when also you can also say that why did Hamas just start October 7th from the beginning if they knew that there were going to be consequences?
Well, here's the thing.
Obviously, I don't justify like I don't think they target civilians. Also, I feel like you're kind of wrong about that. I feel like Hamas is hiding behind human like people, kind of. They're hiding behind human
shields?
Their bases are in hospitals and stuff like that. And I know.
You know the Israelis do the same, right?
What do you mean?
Okay, so when Iran bombed Israel, a lot of the strategic locations they bombed were in the middle of Tel Aviv.
I mean, no. I feel like no. I mean, they
That's the truth.
just bombed random areas. That's not true.
No, they hit a lot of strategic locations, and a lot of them were centered in Tel Aviv or in Haifa, in highly concentrated areas.
Do you
So
have a
Israel
source
does the
for
same
that?
shit that they accuse Hamas
I mean, do you
of.
have a source for that though?
Israeli media themselves.
They did.
Israeli media.
They're not. Why are the Israeli media exposed where there's a base in
It
Israel?
took months and weeks after the fact because they didn't want reporters showing it. But absolutely,
I
when
mean, that's
Iran
not
hit
true.
Israel,
I mean,
when they hit them with
that's
ballistic
not
missiles, they were hitting a bunch of strategic locations, and Israel made it illegal for reporters to show where they were getting bombed.
I mean, I don't think that's true, and we disagree about that.
Okay,
but
well, you don't.
yeah.
Here's the thing: you have a lot
I mean,
of
obviously, I listen
intel
to like,
gaps on this
yeah,
stuff.
Yeah, no, obviously, I listen to your side and what you have to say, but I do feel like you kind of like do blame way more in Israel than you should.
Yes, because Israel has all the leverage and the power, so they have far more responsibility. So yes, I'm absolutely
then-
going to blame them and put the responsibility on them when they're the ones controlling the food, the power, everything going in. They're the ones that
Okay, and
occupy
they're
them.
letting-
These
yeah,
people
but
have
they're
zero
letting them in.
sovereignty,
Yeah.
and it comes back to what I
mean-
said before. If you shake up a Coke bottle, don't be surprised when it explodes when you open it, and that's basically what happened. If you're going to occupy people, give them no rights, no sovereignty, they peacefully protest. Back in 2018 or 2019 when they were walking along the border and they're getting shot by snipers, what do you think is going to happen? It's like the problem with the Israelis is this. You guys like punch, kill, stab, rape, do all this crap, and then when Hamas cocks back and punches you guys right back in the face, that's when the cameras turn on. Oh, look at what they did. But you guys never talk about what led to that. Ever.
You start that, but like
it's like you guys always start the conflict at October 7th, but you
Yeah,
guys never
I mean-
talk about the Balfour Declaration. You guys never talk about occupying them, all the people that you killed, the soldiers, the people that you take in as prisoners. Like the reason why Israel gets a lot of the bullshit that it hates and they're hated by their neighbors is because you antagonize and attack all of your neighbors, and you guys kill Muslims every single day and occupy them.
I don't justify that, but like obviously
You're doing it right now. You're trying to.
No, I don't justify that. I don't justify innocent people getting killed. I'm just saying that obviously in 48 they also started the war, in 67 they started the war, and
'Cause
then
you
all the
took their land.
intifadas.
'Cause you
Yeah,
took
but
their
if
land.
you like say that, you're
There's
just saying
yeah,
Israel
but
doesn't have a
if you
right
steal
to
someone's
exist.
land, if you steal someone's land, they're going to go ahead and have a problem with that. I mean, we live in the United States, right? We have the Second Amendment here. We believe in liberty, freedom, and pursuit of happiness. So I guarantee you guys, if Russians came to the United States and they wanted to take, let's say they want to take Ohio State, right? They want to go ahead and take this campus over. Well, guess what? A lot of us would pick up arms and get these Russians the fuck up out of here. We would resist, right? So why is that people get pissed off at the Palestinians for defending their land and resisting an illegal occupation by a foreign military?
Okay, so that's the difference. You You just don't like think Israel should have a right to that's what you like count on. Like Israel just shouldn't be Israel. Like there shouldn't be Israel, kind of. No.
No, I'm saying that if the Israelis want peace, here's the thing. I'm a pragmatist and a realist as well. I understand Israel's not going anywhere. So if we want to go ahead and have some type of peace, they're going to need to give the Palestinians some level of sovereignty, and they're doing everything in their power to not do that, which is why we have the issues.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I agree with that, and hopefully that will happen. But like, obviously, I do think they should be cautious and like obviously like they have like their reason now also to hate Israel more, you know. So that's obviously like a security problem from the Israeli perspective. Like you can't like fund Hamas more and just like expect like there to be peace.
Well, again, a lot of the security issues that Israel has comes from Israel doing the things that they do.
Yeah,
it's like, you know,
if they're gonna drop their weapons,
people are going to
like, we know
retaliate.
what's going to happen.
You know, people are going to retaliate, and that's just the unfortunate reality, and no one wants to talk about that. But you know, they're going to have to. I mean, I think a one-state solution is probably the only solution now. But we know that they don't want that because they want a Jewish state, and for them to have a Jewish state, they need 80% majority, if not better. That's why there's only 2 million Palestinians that live in Israel
Or in the
proper.
West Bank and okay. It was nice talking to you.
No worries, man. Thank you for your takes. Hello. Oh, first woman. Okay.
Hi. How
Hi.
are you?
How are you?
Good, thanks. Okay. Throughout this whole night, you've kind of been saying a lot of things about modern women and
Yes.
how, like, I think you referenced something how you were talking to someone and women now are changed from the way they were before. Do you know why that is?
Why women are no longer the way that they used to be?
Yeah, like, in what way have they changed and why have they changed?
Oh, okay. I mean, feminism is the main reason.
Right, but why is there feminism? What thing are they having to go against that is causing them to want to make a change?
Well, what they try to rebel against is this, you know, patriarchy that they complain about. But yeah, I mean, basically what we have now is like women have, you know, bought into the feminism mantra of, you know, get a career, make money, put family on the back end. Having being a mom and a wife isn't really respected. It's you know, kind of actually, if anything, made fun of and shamed.
Well, I don't think it's not respected. I just think women are going against the idea that they need to be givers. I mean, do you think the only role of a woman is to be a giver?
Yeah.
Okay, and so let me ask you this. Do you think human beings need to give
It's the least
and
you
take?
guys can do.
Do you think human beings need to give and take in order to survive?
Absolutely.
Okay, so then you don't think women are human. If a woman is supposed to be a giver, you're expecting women to not give and take, so you're thereby dehumanizing women with that statement.
Well, the problem is that women tend to take, and then almost never give.
Well,
Women by definition are value extractors. Your entire mating process, your entire mating strategy is an extraction process.
Right, but for women, if they're
But see how she could gloss over that?
Sorry, what?
No, because I said the female dating strategy, the female mating strategy is literally an extractionary one at that. So women are literally designed to extract value, like from men. This is why you guys look for partners that are superior to in every way. This is what hypergamy is.
Right, but women are designed to extract value, and when men aren't providing any value, that's why women are then changing. That's why women are becoming modern in a sense and not giving men exactly what they need because they have their own ambitions.
Well, that's fine. You can go ahead and have your own ambitions, right?
Right.
I don't.
But I can't because you say my only role is to be a giver, right? So I can't have ambitions.
No. Women have ambitions and they're acting upon it, but we don't tell them the truth. Like what I think is, because I get it that we live in an inflationary world where things are expensive and everything else like that.
Right.
But what we need to do is be honest with women and tell them basically this: if you're going to pursue having a career, making a lot of money, and putting a family on the back end, don't be surprised when your ideal guy doesn't want you back in return, because the things that women look for in a man are not necessarily what men look for in a woman. A woman wants security, provisioning, a career, leadership, competency. We don't care about any of that. So when women are going to school and making money and increasing their status, you're not really doing anything to make yourself more appealable for a male partner.
Right, but you think women are going to school because they're trying to become educated so that they can do these things and not have to put up with only being givers? The reason women are going to school is so that they now know that they can do better than marry a man that only wants a woman to provide for him. And when you talk about these men not being able to find these women, you have a ton of men coming up here saying that they can't find a girl. I think the roles are reversed based on this debate. So you're kind of going back on what you said about
No,
who's
the reason
looking for who.
women can't find a guy is because your guys' standards are too damn high.
Right, but I don't think women are looking for guys because the
No, they
standards
are.
are high.
They are. The problem is that they don't
I'm
qualify.
personally not.
You're not looking for a guy?
No.
Okay.
Because right now, I'm not looking. I'm following my career. I'm doing what I want to do because I think right now the norms have changed. As you've said, women have changed and there are modern women because we realize that we want to be more than givers. I want to be a giver and a taker because I am a human being the same way that you are a human being.
Yeah, that's fine. You can go ahead and, be your giver or taker or whatever you call it. But what
A
I'm saying
human,
is
that's
that
what I call it.
What I'm saying is
Yeah.
you're taking your prime years
Mhm.
and you're putting it
Explain
towards
prime years for me really quick.
a woman's prime years are between 18 to 24 or 25.
No, I don't need the ages. I just mean, what do you define as a prime year?
That's her prime years.
When they can fertilize, is that
when
what
they're
you're
when
saying
they're
by
when they're at
definition?
their highest beauty and highest fertility. Yes, that is
Okay.
a woman's prime.
Okay.
So so cool. If women want to go ahead and pursue that, I think we just need to educate them, like I said before.
But they are educating themselves, and you have a problem with that.
They're not. That's precisely the problem. Is that they think that they can go ahead and pursue the career, make all this money, get their status up, and then there's going to be Prince Charming waiting at the end. And I'm telling them that Prince Charming probably isn't going to be waiting there at the end, and you're going to have to settle for a guy that is at your level, if not worse, because you've pretty much priced yourself outside of the sexual marketplace.
What do you define as Prince Charming? A guy who respects a woman and sees them as human, or a guy who
Okay,
doesn't?
well, what women typically are looking for is a guy that's over 6 foot tall, making 6 figures a year, treats them nice, loves dogs, is
I don't think
handsome,
that's-
but at
I
the
don't
same
think
time
that's
can tell them to shut up and that they're stupid and is an asshole. Like
they are looking for that? Sorry, I interrupted you. I didn't hear.
They're looking for all of that in one guy a lot of the times. Yes,
A guy that tells them to shut up?
that can tell them to shut up. Yes, an asshole.
Okay, so...
Women are attracted to, are aroused by men that have the capability of standing
And
up
I
to
think
them.
you're just making blanket statements because I think women are attracted to men that don't view them only as objects and view them as givers. My Prince Charming personally is a guy who respects that I am human and respects that I have the same ambitions that any other guy or woman can have.
It's kind of
you're
interesting.
You're generalizing it and you're making women out to be the villain.
Yeah,
I'm
it's-
not making men out to be the villain. I'm
Well,
not.
here's the thing. I find it interesting when women say this, like, "Oh no, I just want a guy that's like gonna respect my blah blah blah."
Yeah.
If I take what women say they're attracted to, and I look at the last 10 guys they fucked, it's gonna be completely opposite. Like what women say they're attracted to versus what they're actually attracted to are two different things. Which is why, again, I don't listen to what women say because what you guys are aroused by literally is the complete opposite of what you
is a
guys say
man aroused
publicly.
by?
Huh?
What is a man aroused by? Because you're
Well, we're
saying
pretty
all
honest
these
about
things
it.
about
We-
these women sleeping with guys,
We want
but
big
then I'm gonna
tits,
turn it
nice
back
ass,
on you.
doesn't talk too much, right? Like we're pretty simple about it. But women will sit there and say, "I want a nice guy that's going to treat me well," but then you guys go fuck the bad boy that tells you you're a slut.
Right,
So
but that's not true because you're just
That's not true?
generalizing. You're taking multiple types of women. I
why,
don't agree
why
with
is the phrase
many
"nice
women.
guys finish last" such a thing?
Like, what are you?
Why
even-
do a minority of the men on campus fuck the majority of the girls? Why do the athletes and the frat boys fuck a majority of the girls, even though they're assholes?
All you're doing is generalizing and saying these
The
things
world
that
works
some
on
women
generalities.
say and some don't. I
The
haven't
world
said
works-
those things.
okay,
The
so-
same way some men haven't said the things that you say. So by generalizing each gender to something that one person says, it's actively making it so that nothing can be solved. I don't agree with some feminist standpoints. I don't agree with some other standpoints of women, but I'm not generalizing what they're all saying in the same way that you are right now.
The world operates on generalities, and to dismiss that is low IQ. Like the world operates on generalities. Like that's just how it goes. Like we can go ahead and go into specific people or exceptions to the rule or whatever, but that's low IQ. The reality is that women have certain things that they look for in a man, and a man has certain things that he looks for in a woman. When a woman builds up her career and earns money and status, these are not things that men really care about. Okay, at all. Like we don't, and I would argue the more money and status we acquire, the less we care about a woman getting that. So like, if you want to go ahead and pursue, like, I'll give you an example.
Why does it have to be that you care about it, though? Why can't you love a woman and then her like having ambition? Why does it have to be that you like a woman because she has ambition or vice versa? Why
Well,
do
that-
they have to?
That
Why
statement-
can't they just coexist?
That statement precisely identifies the problem. Women don't give a fuck about what men want. Thank you for proving my point.
What?
You just said why should it be that way? Like you said, okay, let me rephrase what you just
Okay,
said back
yeah,
in Womanese
sure.
to you. Men, right, have to understand what women want to get attention from women and or have sexual access. Women, on the other hand, don't have to know or understand men to get attention from men. And I would take it a step further. Not only do you guys not have to do it, you guys don't want to do it because you know that men are going to come to you no matter what. So when women go ahead and pursue a career and make money and those other stuff, it doesn't benefit us, but you guys are like, fuck it, I don't care what you want. I'm going to do what I want to do, and then you need to accept me anyway. That's the same logic as if I said, well, you know what, I'm just going to be a hobo, I'm going to be fat, I'm going to be a loser, I'm not going to be charming, and bitches should want me anyway. That doesn't work. So effectively, like you guys make fun of incels, like, ho, you get no bitches. A lot of you guys are femcells. You're not going to get into a relationship because you guys don't do what's required or care about becoming attractive to a male partner.
You said
That's what I mean.
And I don't want to take their time, but you said women are going to not do to get in a relationship, but then you just said that women can do whatever or lack thereof and men will come to them. So I don't understand. Like, you're just completely contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not.
With those two sentences.
No,
You
I'm not.
are.
Okay. Women, right, get a lot of sexual access by existing, right?
Right.
However,
But that's something you're saying. I'm not agreeing
yeah,
with that.
yeah, no,
I'm
but yeah,
agreeing.
that's
Okay.
no matter what you do, whether you're fat and annoying or rude or whatever, or you're a boss babe, you're gonna get a man, right? Now here's the difference. The problem is that most women can't get a guy to lock them down. Why is that? And the reason why a lot of women can't get a guy to lock them down is because most women simply don't care about what men want. So since they have this mentality of take me as I come, they don't feel the incentive to improve and be a better girlfriend and or wife eventually, and they think the guy should accept them how they come, aka their career mindset, their attitude, whatever it is. So this is why so many Western women have a hard time with getting a guy, because it's either A, the guy's not attractive enough for them, right? Or B, he is attractive enough for them, but that guy doesn't want to commit to her because he has options, because he's put himself in a position where other women want him. So if you take a guy that's very attractive, right, and has options, who do you think he's going to go for? The 29-year-old businesswoman that's a lawyer that has her own practice, or the 19-year-old or the 20-year-old that is hot, submissive, and not career-oriented? Who do you think he's going to take?
I don't know.
That's the problem. The fact that you don't know is precisely the issue why I do my show.
I don't know, because every guy is different and every person is different.
Okay.
I don't know. This is going in circles.
See
Okay.
how you don't know? But if I lined up any guy here and I asked them, hey, what do bitches want? They're all going to know what women want, but you don't know what men want. And
Right, but you're just
that's what I'm trying to say.
generalizing. You're just completely generalizing.
Men are simple.
Okay, that's all I was wondering is, why do you think women feel now that there's modern women and feel like they don't care about what men want, and it's because men have created that system. That is the only thing that the first question I asked, it's gone in circles. Thank you for talking. I think what you're doing here is great.
Thank
Have
you.
a
I
good rest of
appreciate
your
it.
night.
Yeah, no worries. I think that conversation revealed a lot, guys. Look, I told you guys before, I'll say it again. Like, women don't give a fuck about what we want, and I think that kind of proves that.
Hell no, they don't. Yeah,
Like,
goddamn.
it's I'm going to do what I want to do, and you need to accept me how I come. But, like, with us, we must understand women and, like, be attractive to get them in the first place. And that's modern women for you guys. Like, this is why I tell y'all, you got to make money, you got to level up, etc. Because, as you guys can see, they don't give a fuck what you guys want. It's I'm going to do what I want to do, and then I'm going to find my Prince Charming no matter what. So
that's what they think. It's not coming. But what's good with you, my nigga?
Yo.
I first wanted to say salute to you and Andrew Tate for backing that goofy bitch out the paint. And you know who I'm talking
Kamala
about?
Harris.
Come Swallow Harris.
All of you guys owe me one.
Yeah.
We kept
I
Kamala
appreciate
Harris
you
out
doing
the
that.
fucking White House, baby. Let's go.
You're damn right. I appreciate it because I was very nervous myself. And I know you were going to be under fire like you already were.
Oh, bro, yeah. We had to keep her out, man. So I'm glad. She put in her book, guys. If you read her book, 107 days. She literally said in there that me and Andrew took the young male vote. So we kept her out the White House and put her back in the kitchen, baby.
Real nigga. Okay. I got a question.
No female presidents, man.
Hell no, none. Ever. Do you love the Jews?
Do I love the Jews? No, I'm just kidding. Look, here's the thing. I got a lot of Jewish friends. You know what I mean? I really do. I got Jewish guys on my team, etc. I want to be very clear about this. Some of the best voices, that have been talking about what's been going on in Gaza and everything else like that are Jewish people, actually. And someone had mentioned that before, which I 100% agree with. So this isn't like a thing like, oh, yeah, I hate all Jewish people or whatever. My issue is with Jewish control of America and certain individuals that do everything in their power to subvert our government and our culture for the benefit of another foreign nation. That's my issue.
I understand that totally. So I actually been seeing some content online, a whole lot of Muslims saying that their goal is to basically take over the West and make it Muslim. Have you seen any of that?
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Okay, so what's your stance on that?
I think that's problematic. I think it creates a lot of the disdain that we have for an already perturbed America when it comes to, accepting Islam. And I think us exacerbating the problem and confirming stereotypes doesn't really help the situation. So, there's a bunch of really beautiful and safe Muslim countries that people can go to. So I don't think we need to come in and take over America and, wear out our welcome. Because I do think that Muslims are guests here, as much as they get mad at me for saying that. But I think it's the truth. We're the minority. this isn't a Muslim country. It's not a Muslim foundational country. And even if they want to go ahead and tell me, oh, well, separation of church and state. Well, okay, let's make the argument it's a secular country. It's still a secular country with Christian roots and cultural foundation, right? There's a reason why, Christmas is a national holiday and Eid isn't.
Right, because I don't even know what that is.
Fair enough.
I don't know what you just said.
Yeah.
Eid, EID, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so, because I've been seeing stuff like that, that's the reason why I asked you if you love the Jews. I mean, whether you do or you don't doesn't really make a difference, but the reason why I was asking was because it seems to me like it's like a default for Muslims to dislike Jews. Is that something is that the case?
No. A lot of them do. A lot of Muslims oppose the state of Israel. It's not really Jews that they dislike. It's opposing the state of Israel and the Zionists is what it is.
Okay, so the overreach that they're doing in every country, they basically,
Yeah, like a lot of Muslim countries like are sensitive to the Palestinian plight, of them being displaced and occupied and, having their land taken.
Got you. Okay, so why don't you think the Palestinians can't simply go somewhere else where people won't be bombing them and killing them? Well, I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying because if I was getting fired on at my neighbor across the street, I would either move or attempt to kill them all. And I don't think, of course, killing them all is not going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
well,
they're not going to be able to make that happen. So,
if someone broke into your house, right, and took over a significant amount, would you just leave and go try to find another house, or would you defend and fight for your home back?
I certainly would not want to move. But what I'm saying is, it seems
so you would
to
stay
me,
there and fight, right?
It seems to me like it's coming to a point where
you would stay there and fight then, right?
I would fight. Like hell.
There you go.
Of course.
There you
but
go.
What I'm saying is, it doesn't seem like the fight is going to go well. You feel
You're
me?
Palestinian now.
I mean, I could be. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Allahu Akbar.
I'm saying someone came in and took your house. You literally, by your own admission, you're like, oh well, I'd consider moving, but now I'd stay and fight. That's literally what the Palestinians are dealing with.
Right. So at a certain point, what do you think they should do if it's not looking like they're going to fight and be able to hold them off? You think they should roll out or just stay until they all die?
Well, the problem is that I can easily sit here and Monday morning quarterback it for my position in the United States where I'm safe and I have a home. I can't really tell them what to do. I think they're but what I can do is predict, and I predict that they're just not going to go to another land. They're going to fight for their land. You know what I mean? They've been there for thousands of years. Many generations. They look at it like, yo, we're getting our land taken from us, and we'd rather die on our feet than submit on our knees.
For sure, I respect that, and of course, I'm not saying that they should leave. I would just hate to see them just.
It
be
sucks.
Completely
It's a very
wiped out.
sucky situation, but most of them, I would argue, are probably going to stay and fight, which we're seeing now.
Yeah, hey, I respect it. They got to keep it G. So do you.
Yeah.
Salute, my nigga. I'm about to be out of here.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
For sure.
All right, who's up next? Okay.
So,
what's up, Gary?
What are we doing? So first, let me just say this. This is a multi-millionaire over here. He came from the crown jewel of the United States, Miami, to this fucking shithole in Ohio to get you guys to understand what the hell is going on in the world. Can we get a round of applause for this man?
Thank you, Gary. I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, I want people to understand something about Israel. Israel is not America. Everyone here has to be America first. I don't care if you're a Muslim, Christian, Jew. If you're in this country, you're America first. If not, get the fuck out. Very simple. And you have to understand that if people like this don't have a voice, we're all fucked. Every single last one of us. This man prevented Kamala Harris from becoming president of the United States. He kept the whore out the White House. I'm going to make this very clear. Myron, we have 9 months in the Trump presidency. We got about 39 months left. Yep. How important is it to keep these goddamn Democrats out the White House and not to be complacent at this point?
Yeah, no, I said this before, I'll say it again. If a Democrat gets back into the office, we're all going to jail, bro. We're all going to fucking jail. They admitted that during the Biden administration that they were censoring conservatives. They were pushing the jab, and, getting rid of people that said certain things. So if a Democrat gets back in, definitely people from the Trump administration are going to get arrested. And then also I think anyone that has a conservative voice, we're going to not be just suppressed, but some of us that have actual influence, they're going to target us and try to jail us. That's what I think. So, we We got to vote Republican now for the rest of the time to keep out of jail, I think.
And the Republicans ain't perfect. Trust me, the Republicans
Yeah, they got a
ain't
bunch
perfect.
of, yeah. You guys see, I've been critical of Israel the whole time. That's not, and we know that the Republicans love Israel. But, a lot of us also see, like, what's going on in Gaza. We're like, this is fucked up. We don't want kids dying.
I want people to understand that when it comes down to conservatism, this is something you guys got to fight for. Free speech is something every generation has to fight for. You have to be able to take someone calling you some kind of F or an N or a K. You got to be able to take that and not be violent. Because if you are, it's going to break down our democracy. Freedom of speech is what basically keeps America America. And this man right here is coming to a shithole, cold as fuck, to basically talk to the youth. Because you guys are being convinced right now to become communists, to become socialists, and there's no place on earth that shit worked. I'm an old man. He's up there too. It's up to you. You have to defend democracy. You have to defend capitalism. Because if you don't, we become Venezuela. Myron, yeah, good propaganda. But Myron, let's close with this. What do you want the youth to do? What do you want them to do after they see you come out here and fight? What would you like them to do? What is your message to the youth?
For the men, become strong, successful, have the capacity to take care of a family, because at the end of the day, we need to have more families and more kids. Obviously, follow God, whoever it may be for you, and just be good people, man. Really what it comes down to, and protect the freedom of speech, protect the ideals that, our forefathers fought for, because this truly is the best country in the world, and I think that, we can keep it that way, but we're going to need strong men to make sure that we lead it, not women. And for the ladies out there, look, I understand that you're in school. I understand that life is expensive and it's not cheap, right? So you might have to pursue a career. But, don't waste your best years being a whore in college. Like, try to find a guy while you're here. And you guys can grow together and graduate together and get married before you walk on stage. Because I'm very sensitive to the fact that it's more expensive to live in America nowadays. But I do think that women should be putting the effort to become a mother and a wife first, career second and third. So that's what I think.
What's been more destructive, COVID-19 or the 19th Amendment?
Probably the 19th Amendment, man. I think voting for women voting is a big fucking problem, and I know that's a controversial take, but that is a huge problem, because if we didn't have women voting, we probably wouldn't have the COVID-19 bullshit going down.
We wouldn't have communism. We wouldn't have socialism. We wouldn't have homosexuality. We don't have all of that stuff. And let me just finish with this. If you don't marry a virgin, you have to apologize for your kids for her mother being a whore.
Shout out to Gary. And shout out to Gary. Actually, Gary was calling out Israel like in 2011, talking about the Zionists and the occupation and everything else like that. He doesn't get enough credit for that. He got banned off Twitter like 30 times, literally for talking shit on Israel, and he's Jewish. So that's one of the G's right there that helps me in the fight. Thank you, Gary. What's up, brother?
Real quick, wanted to say shout out Bryce Dunlap. He was supposed to be here today. He's my best friend. He's been in a coma since Sunday. Prayers for Bryce Dunlap. It was nice to meet you, Myron.
Prayers, bro.
I'm going to shake your hand when I get on the podcast 2026, baby.
No, you can shake my hand right now, brother. Thank you for coming out. Thank you, man. Thank you so much for coming out. What's up, man?
What's up, Myron? I actually had it's a two-parter question. So I'm
Go ahead.
originally from Puerto Rico.
All right.
I'm cold as
They hate me right now. I make funny. I made some jokes on Puerto Rico. They got pissed off.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I just said that they have all this national pride, but they don't got a nation.
I mean, yeah.
Y'all are American, bro.
I mean, what's your opinion on that? That's part of like what my question was. Like, do you think we should become a state? Do you think we should be like our own nation, or do you think where we're at right now?
I think it's best for the Puerto Rican people to decide that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
And on my side of things, like right now as a territory, we're in a really weird spot. We have a really corrupt government. Like not too long ago, actually, like one of my closest friends, her father was the governor of a municipality, and he took about like $1.2 million from that municipality, which is the one I'm from, Guaynabo. And so yeah, there's a whole lot of problems going on, especially like infrastructure. And
did you have a disagreement though? And guys, we want to get people that disagree. By the way, we got a few. Sean, how much more time we got? We got about 30 minutes left, so let's get some disagreements. By the way, but go ahead, Ben.
But yeah, I would definitely want us to join, probably like become a state or at least stay where we're at right now. I don't think, but I like that. Like in the Olympics, we're obviously our own country, or we're seen as our own nation, so I don't have a problem with that. And the second question was, it's more lighthearted. What do you think about Bad Bunny doing the Super Bowl?
Terrible.
Terrible?
Yeah.
Really?
I think the Super Bowl is one of the most American things we can have, and having some reggaeton artists come in and speak Spanish and play as degenerate music, I don't think it's American.
I mean, to be fair, we've had a lot of very mid Super Bowls recently.
Yeah.
So like Rihanna was really mid.
But
like
him especially, like, nah. And then also he's like, obviously opposed to the Trump administration. He's like, oh, I'm not going to perform in America because, he said some shit about I'm not going to perform in America because of what's going on with ICE. But I don't know. He's also a faggot too, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
Cross dresses and does a bunch of weird shit. So like
that was a really long time ago.
It's still weird. And I don't think people performing in Spanish is appropriate for such an American event.
I mean, America's not just English speakers.
See, that's the problem. It should be. And it's the official language. And I think that people that come here need to assimilate and learn the English language and assimilate to our culture, not the other way around. I think multiculturalism, this is going to be maybe controversial. I think multiculturalism brings a lot of problems.
In what way?
Well, people bring their bastardized, backwards culture here and try to force it down our throats, and we don't want that a lot of the times.
Does that necessarily correlate to like language?
Yeah, that's a part of it. I mean, have you been to Toronto? It's filled with Jeets. Doesn't even look like Canada anymore. It's become Mumbai. And I think like whenever you have mass immigration and, people come in, they're naturally going to bring their culture with them, and they don't assimilate. And I think when there's enough of them, they won't assimilate. But like when it's a minority, then they're more likely to observe certain cultural norms, learn the language, etc. I think it's like ridiculous to come to the United States and not speak English. Like that's absolutely preposterous to me.
I don't think he's bringing a message that's like backwards or anything. It's actually kind of like loving and like I don't know.
Who, Bad Bunny?
Yeah, Bad Bunny.
It's a bunch of degenerate reggaeton, bro. It's like talking about being doing a whole bunch, doing drugs and partying and being a DJ. And I get it, like that's what music is. But like, do we really need to platform that at the Super Bowl?
I mean,
he's not very American. I don't know. I just think that's a slot that should be reserved for maybe an English-speaking artist or an English-singing artist, maybe.
English-speaking artist, like didn't we just have like Snoop Dogg perform? I mean, like that dude smokes a bunch of weed.
Yeah, he's a retard too, but like, you know what I mean? He's a retarded leftist. But like, again, I think with Bad Bunny, I don't know. I don't think that having a reggaeton artist headline the Super Bowl is a good idea. They're doing it from a business perspective. I get it, like, because they want to bring the Latino community is very like.
He won Latin Artist of the Year. Yeah,
you guys really band together, but it's a business thing. But anything else, bro?
Oh no, that was it.
Okay, cool. Let's get to the next person.
For your time.
No worries, man. Thank you for coming on and discussing. What's up?
Hello, brother.
What's up? What's your disagreement?
I don't even disagree, brother. Just first question on light.
Sure, we need disagreements. Who's disagreements?
All right, quick question, please.
All right,
first question, super quick. This weekend, biggest UFC pay-per-view in the past few years, Islam Makhachev versus Jack Dalla Maddalena. Do you have an opinion on that? Who do you think is going to win?
I don't watch sports.
Fuck. Not even UFC, bro?
No.
All right, fuck. All right, second question is, as an American citizen, what do you think we should be doing? Because there's no secret. Every single one of our politicians is either blackmailed by Israel through Epstein Island and a bunch of other operations, or they're taking money for Israel. So how should we as Americans, decide who should we even vote for, who should we even, etc., support, all that stuff? How should we even decide any of that?
Well, for me, it depends on what your interests are. For me, I vote a lot on foreign policy, immigration, that type of stuff, things that are going to keep the country secure more from external threats, because mass immigration is a national security threat, in my opinion, because it brings a lot of inherent problems. But I think we need to vote for politicians that are like hardcore nationalists. Like that's really the only way to go about it, right? Like guys that only fly the American flag, guys that only care about America. And some of these politicians will sit there and be like, oh no, I care about America too. But a lot of times they're more interested in just getting into power and striking deals on the side versus being like hardcore nationalists. So that's what I think we need to be focusing on with the next candidate. Hopefully we'll see what happens in 2028. who runs, but yeah.
All right. And last statement, not even a question. Just want to say one thing. I want to say thank you so much for everything you've done, especially talking about Palestine. Especially that one time I seen that clip of you talking about Hind Rajab.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
A lot of my friends, they used to be like huge, like we love Israel because we're Christian. But then when you drop that clip, a lot of them switch up their views and they start saying like what happened with Hind Rajab and all that stuff. So I just want to thank you as a Palestinian, bro. Thank you so much, man.
No, thank you. And I didn't know that. I'm glad that I'm able to wake people up on that topic, man. Thank you so much. Rest in peace to Hind Rajab. For those of you that don't know, she was a child that was killed in Gaza where they shot the car up like 300 times, man, when she was there asking for help calling 911. So, yeah. What's up, man?
How you doing? Good to meet you. So you've mentioned previously that if a man wants to have a successful long-term relationship with a girl, he shouldn't live with her. Does that change? One day I want to have a wife and kids, but are you like, would that change at all if I'm like married, or does that like cohabitation ever change?
Yeah, I think and this is one of my more controversial takes too. I think cohabitating with a woman does a lot of things negative for you as a guy, right? It increases familiarity, which increasing familiarity actually makes you less attractive to your partner. Makes you lazy a lot of times because your girl is going to say, oh, eat ice cream with me instead of going to the gym or whatever. So, look, I'm not saying don't live there, like maybe sleep there a couple of nights a week or whatever, but do your best to be outside of the house. Like, try not to always be there around her. Obviously as the kids get older, you want to be there, but like, really you could be a good dad without having to be there all the time. You know what I mean? Especially when your kids get older and become teenagers and stuff like that. That's when you're needed more as the father to come in as a disciplinarian. But in the early years, man, let her deal with that shit, bro. Let her change the diapers and do all that stuff. And I'm hoping that if you're a smart guy and you got your money together, everything, you're working all the time anyway and you're supporting, so she does have that ability. Hell, maybe even have your mother or a nanny help her out, because obviously I don't want her just being there struggling with the children herself. It's very hard to do that job by herself. So you should be creating all the resources for her to be an effective mother and be able to do it efficiently without her suffering, without you being there. So, and I think that's the man's duty, is to make her job with motherhood as easy as possible and create every opportunity or create an environment most conducive to her being able to be a mother without being stressed out. So if that means you move your mom in there to help out or a nanny or whatever, you do what you got to do. But that's your job, is to create that environment as the man.
Thank you.
No worries, man. See, no one ever clips that part, though, when I say that for women. They just clip the part where I say women are dumb. And they're dumb because they don't want guys to do what I'm just saying right now, which is like, I'm saying this is what guys need to provide for their woman. And if you don't want that, you're fucking dumb, which I would, if people actually listen to everything that I say, would be like, you know what, that sounds like a good idea. Shit, maybe I should be a housewife.
The hot-ups are back.
What's up?
Just a quick question. So you said, if I heard like partially from the other convo, you said like to move to America, you think you need to speak English.
Yeah.
Why? Like, can you elaborate more on that and like why that is?
I think it's disrespectful to not just yourself, but it's disrespectful to people that live here and everybody else. If you come here and you just expect us to learn your language and speak your language, like when you come to a country as a visitor, you should assimilate, especially if you're coming in as an immigrant and you want to be here long term. I think, if you're visiting, that's one thing, that's different. But like if you're here and trying to become a citizen or, get some type of long-term status here, you should learn the English language and, respect the country that you're in. Because let's be honest, bro, anytime I get an Uber and the person speaks Spanish, I start fucking punching the air. I'm pissed off because it's like, what the fuck, man? Like
I don't, like, okay, I kind of see where you're coming from, but it's just the fact that, like, I don't think you need to know, like you don't need to know English to come here. Like, my mom, when she came here, she didn't know the full English language.
Did she learn it, though?
She has been learning. Like, she's better than she was.
Then that's good.
But, like, I think they should make an effort to try, because in this, like, country, it's kind of hard to navigate, like, not knowing English. And that's, like, any country you go to. Like, you want to go to Japan speaking English, expecting them to, like, know your way. But, like, I don't
think... And look at Japan. Japan is, like, a utopia almost. Yeah. It's homogenous. They're nationalists. They don't like mass immigration. Matter of fact, like, their new president now is trying to, like, deport people and shit because they got these Nigerians coming in and committing a bunch of crimes, right? Like, mass immigration does lead to problems, man, because a lot of times when you get this mass immigration, you're not getting the best and the brightest. You're getting the fucking retards a lot of times. So, they and their country's super safe. You can fall asleep on the train. If your phone falls out, someone's going to put it in your pocket for you. So there is a degree where nationalism promotes more safety because people actually look out for each other and they care about each other. This is where a lot of times, like, multiculturalism can create problems. So, Yeah, I think if you're going to come to the United States and you intend to stay here long term, you should learn the language. My parents did it. They came here as immigrants. They learned the language. You know, they figured it out. I think everybody else that comes should do the same.
Okay. And then, since I don't think anyone's asked this question, but what are your thoughts on like college? Since we are on like
it's a scam. A lot of times it's a scam. This coming from somebody that went to a prestigious school himself. You know, Northeastern has like a 5% acceptance rate. We're damn near Ivy League. And even I say, like, you know, nowadays I think, you know, if you're going to college and you want to be an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer, like you're pursuing something where you need a college education, cool, go for it. But like if you're, you know, majoring in like women's studies or some shit, that's retarded.
Like, yeah, I believe it is like kind of, especially with how much it costs. Like I'd say if it was like free or like very like low cost, I'd be like, okay. But with like,
yeah, what's tuition now for you guys?
I know for like out of state it's like 60, but I think per year it's like 30.
Isn't this a state school?
Out of state.
Out of state. Okay, what's in state? 20?
I think in state is like 20 to 30 or
dude.
somewhere
This school,
in that range.
This school when I was looking at colleges was like 10K in state. So it's like doubled.
Yeah, it's
in like 15 years.
Honestly, in the world we live in, college isn't really that necessary anymore, but I still think it's like really good to, like, I'm doing it for my mom, but I'm also like, if I'm going to be something like I want to go to pharmacy school, it's like, it's not a bad choice.
My thing is, I think people just need to be intelligent about it. So like, for example, if you got a full ride, fine, go. You know what I mean? It's not going to hurt you. But if you're paying your own way, like definitely make sure that you're majoring in something that's going to get you a job at the end, or it's leading to that job. Maybe you want to be a doctor, you have to get your undergraduate, fine. That's my thing. Like I would tell people nowadays to be far more selective and cautious when they go to school. Because like when I went to school, it was still maybe somewhat affordable where you can go undeclared. But like nowadays, dude, it is they've jacked the price up on you guys so much. Like Northeastern now, I think it's like 70 or 80K a year. When I went, it was like 36, 40.
Illinois?
No, not Northwestern, Northeastern in Boston.
Northeastern, okay.
In Boston, yeah.
And then
fuck Northwestern.
Like I know with all the views you have about women, you have a girl like that I think works for you or whatever.
Yeah.
Does she agree with like, or this is a question for you, but do you like agree with everything he says, or like do you have some disagreements with
Normally
him?
I never give a microphone to a female, but I'll do it for you this one time. You want to tell him real quick what your thoughts are?
Yes, I agree, 100%.
Like with everything he says?
Yep.
Okay, all right. And then could we just take a
See, that's how you got to have your girls, guys.
Can we take a quick
Yeah,
break?
sure. She's Iraqi too. She gets it. Oh, she's Iraqi? Yeah. Yeah. They want to take a quick pic. Right here?
Good seeing you, bro. Good seeing you. Thank you. Yep.
Later, guys. All right, cool. Who's up next? Any disagreements? Hello, how are you?
I actually don't have a disagreement. I just
Oh
want to
shit,
make a
okay.
statement
We got a smart
as-
one.
Yeah, as a woman in college, in my prime, I guess you would say, I completely agree that the man is the provider for a family and that the woman is the caretaker and the nurturer. I believe that the man is the foundation of the family and that he should guide the woman with political views. And although people are going to say that I'm controversial or biased or whatever because I'm in college and I'm getting a degree, yes, I am. But although I think that the family comes first, only reason why I'm getting a degree is because you have to have two incomes. Like, it's not possible for me to just live off my husband's income. I needed to go to school to get a good career to make a second income, so I'm setting myself up for my future, but ultimately I know that my family is my top priority.
No, and I think that's great. I say it all the time. I understand that we live in a because the thing is like a lot of people like have unrealistic views. Like they'll be like, okay, well we should do this, but at the same time like do this. It's like, okay, dude, we live in a society now where it's very difficult to make a living with only one income. So I'm totally sensitive to that, and that's why I say like if women are in school or they're pursuing an education, I understand why. But, I do like what you're doing, and it's actually precisely what I tell women to do, is go to school, but, like, be marriage-minded and look for a guy while you're in school. I mean, if anything, this is a fantastic place to find a guy that's on his way up, etc. And then hopefully you guys get to a position where he works hard and he gets to a point where he tells you, okay, it's time for you to quit your job. We're going to have a family. And I think that's the ideal situation. And I think it's also a fantastic way for women to find, suitable bachelors, because I'm also very sensitive to the fact that women have a declining marriage pool of men as well, right? As they increase their status and get money, the suitable candidates go down. So a great way to kind of help circumvent that could be going to school and everything else like that. But I think what you're doing, where you're going to school, but you're like still looking like, hey, family is my priority, I think that's a great way to be. And it should be the man's job or the man's goal, even if you do enter the workforce, to get you out of the workforce as quickly as possible. The analogy I always say is this: your wife or your girl or your woman should always be able to go to her boss and say fuck off at any time she wants. And that's your job as the man to afford her that luxury where she could tell her boss to fuck off anytime.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Spread that message to the other girls that you're with to prioritize a family. So shout out to you.
Hello, my name
What's
is
up, man?
My name is Jonathan. I just wanted to say I respect that you're standing up for what you believe in. I think everyone has a right to the freedom of speech. But I'd like to say I do disagree with the way you go about it.
Sure.
It's just I'm personally a Christian, and as you say, America is founded on Christian values, so it should stay that way. I'm just saying I believe that Jesus Christ taught to love and to spread love, and the way you go about degrading women and saying they should be givers, I believe women should be the giver for the husband, and I believe that the husband should provide. Of course, as we both agree, women can go and be ambitious, but the way you go about spreading this, along with, I've heard some of your people call immigrants dirty, or calling these people other things other than humans.
I don't think I've called any immigrants dirty. Did I say that today? I don't think I did.
Not you, but along with that, I'm just like to say that. So what is your take on that? That I believe you're spreading hate.
Okay, how am I spreading hate?
Degrading people, calling them
Can
slurs.
you give me a couple of examples of how I'm degrading people?
You're telling women that they're useless unless they're givers.
Yes. If they're not pursuing a family and having children, they are useless, yes.
But why not correct them in a loving way? Calling someone useless.
I think I just did it now. We had a lovely young lady come up and describe how she's going to school and pursuing education, but obviously a family comes first.
But you didn't say that to everyone.
When I said women are stupid?
Every girl.
Or what?
Women are stupid.
Yeah,
yes.
A lot of them are. That's the reality. Most people are stupid.
But why not correct them in a way? Like, is this campaign gonna encourage people to side with you if you're just gonna degrade them and call them stupid?
Well, here's the thing. My job is to put the truth out. If people get offended at how I convey that truth, then I guess that's their problem. But the reality is I'm waking up a lot of people with this polarizing message because, in a day and age where we have, ultimate access to everything with the internet, to break the monotony and the pattern, you have to sometimes say things in a polarizing manner to get people's attention. And I think the message overall is far more important than the way the message is conveyed. Now, if I offend some people, well, that's just kind of what comes with the territory. But being a very monotone, boring, polite, nice guy, that's just gay. So,
was Jesus Christ gay?
Well, I never said that. You just came to that conclusion yourself.
Can I ask you, what was Jesus Christ?
What would he do?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. He lived at a different time. And today's time nowadays, to get a message out, sometimes you have to be a bit polarizing. I think the message, honestly, aligns with a lot of the things that he wants, where we have families, people that are law-abiding, good people in general, people that, believe in God. So I think for the greater part, the way I deliver the message really comes second to the message itself and delivering it in the first place.
So Jesus Christ was a man who did condemn people in a loving way. He did this out of love. He did not do this out of hate.
Well, I'm not doing it out of hate.
What are you doing out of?
To pursue the truth. To pursue the truth and tell people what really needs to be said. I'm not doing it. If I hated them, why would I even have a discussion with any of these people if I did?
I'd just like to say, I believe Jesus Christ is the way to go about this in his manner of loving people, calling them daughter rather than dirty, rather than trash, rather than useless. They are a child of God.
I only use the term useless, that's it.
Okay, but they are a child of God.
Yes, because if a woman isn't having a family and pursuing a family, she becomes effectively useless to society. No one
Okay.
cares about her career. Nobody cares about her income or status. Nobody gives a shit about any of that stuff. If she's not having a family and pursuing that, she becomes useless to society. And I think a lot of the religions would agree with that motherhood is the most important thing.
I believe it's important.
There you go. So that's what I'm trying to do. Now, we might go about it in a different way. You might be a little bit nicer, more monotone about it. But, that's not my style. I tell it like it is. Some people might get offended, but I think offending a few people here and there is worth it to get the message out to a mass audience.
I think offending people, my beliefs will offend people, but I just say we go about it different ways.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to offend people no matter what. So,
Yeah.
just worrying about being offensive and hurting people's feelings is just not a way to move in today's day and age, in my opinion, because people are so soft that they're going to get offended by anything. So you might as well just go full on tilt.
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much for your time. Jesus
right.
loves you.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you. Who's up next? Any disagreements or hopefully disagreements, guys? 5 minutes left? All right. Go ahead. What's your disagreement?
I just kind of watch your videos, but
Okay.
I just can't grasp one concept.
Okay.
Are you Muslim or you aren't or
I grew up in a Muslim household, but I'm not practicing or I'm not religious.
All right, I understand that. So I grew up in a Muslim household and all that good stuff, and I know a lot of Muslim people, but I feel like the new gen of Muslims coming up kind of gravitates towards the more liberal side. And I've criticized them, I don't understand, their values don't align with us at all.
Yeah.
I think a lot of problems with today's generation has arisen from liberal values. So I just if you could just talk Muslim people, try to convince them, make them understand that, conservatives are more your friends than liberals, and liberals kind of expect an exchange for supporting us. So when we go when they come protest for Palestine and all that stuff, and it's a bunch of gays and freaking homosexuals, they don't understand that in return they kind of expect you to go out and support them.
Yeah.
So
that's what Mamdani had to do.
Well, yeah, I don't understand Muslims like Mamdani either. He literally is supporting prostitution, along with a bunch of other things that completely go against Muslim values, and they can't see the fact that he's Muslim. That's just what they're looking at. And, it's kind of a sad reality they have they can't grasp, truly.
As a minority group, a lot of the times people have to identify with the left to get a voice, right? And, they align themselves with BLM, the feminists, the trannies and the gays and everything else like that. But the reality is yes, Muslims should really be aligning with conservatives. I agree with you on that. They shouldn't be aligning with progressives, but they do, because progressives tend to be more sensitive to minorities. So that's why.
I think the argument that they bring up a lot is conservatives don't want you in this country. You're kind of looked down upon, or you're saying
there's some retards that are like that just aren't pragmatic and realistic. But I would argue most conservatives actually will embrace you with open arms. Most Christians, who tend to be conservatives will definitely embrace you and bring you in. I've never had that problem. Of course, you're going to have a couple of retards here and there that are get out my country, but that's not the majority.
Yeah. So you told me you grew up in a Muslim household, right?
Yep.
Do you understand the concept of meher by any chance?
Of what?
Meher, dowry.
Yes.
Okay, so what do you just think about that subject in general, where you have to pay a girl? I mean, there's more of an epidemic nowadays with Muslim girls. Well, they'll literally ask you for tens of thousands of dollars in order for you to marry them. What do you think of that whole concept?
Go to the Middle East. Give her a goat instead.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking also, man. So yeah, I mean, funny story. I was engaged, and this girl just completely played with me, and she asked me for $10,000.
Oh shit, yeah, that's a L.
And I was just I told her if I was a king of Morocco, for God's sake, I would not pay that. I'm not an idiot, right?
Yeah.
And she kind of played it where, oh, my dad is asking for this money. Come to later to know is that she was just straight up lying to me and saying that, but she was the one asking for the whole time. So I thought that was funny. But
that's
yeah,
why red pill awareness is so important.
Yeah, no, I mean, it made me feel stupid because I couldn't see past that. So it's just it's funny how you think virginity matters. You kind of push that woman women are whores and blah blah blah, but you can't even look past it. Sadly, even with women who do have values and not,
I just think
blatantly lied to face to face.
Men just need to be very cautious, and if you're gonna wife up a girl or take a woman seriously, you just don't want to bring a promiscuous woman into your life. It's gonna create problems, and I don't care what anyone in society tries to tell you, saying, "Oh, she's changed," or "She's a her sexuality doesn't define her." No, it absolutely defines her. Sex is much different for women than it is for men. A promiscuous woman is not the same as a promiscuous man. And if you're getting with a promiscuous girl, you're cruising for a bruising, dude. You really are.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean that every single promiscuous girl is going to be horrible to you and not treat you well? No, of course not. But 90% of the time, you're setting yourself up for a very bad predicament getting with a promiscuous woman or with a girl of the past.
Yeah, and I just want to say thank you. It's a
problem,
great
man.
experience. I've been here for like an hour or so, and I've had fun. So thank you for coming.
I'm glad that you are enjoying it. Thank you. And I know you said you casually watch the stuff, so hopefully I'll watch more. Hello, what's up? Shout out to Brett. And for those of you that are wondering, Brett's here. He does all the clips and shorts that you guys see, like all those crazy edits and shit like that. He does that. So shout out to my guy, Brett. Hi. How are you?
You've talked a lot about how women shouldn't work and everything.
Yes.
I'm just wondering, like, why yours works. You said your woman works for you.
Oh, no. What do you mean? My girl work?
Yeah, you said she works, like, for this company.
No, I don't have a girlfriend, like a long-term girlfriend right now. No.
You don't?
No,
All
but I
right.
did before, and she didn't work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just misheard. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I think obviously after the, once you get into like the serious phase where you guys are together, like you should be supporting for your girl. But that should be after 6 months to 1 year of vetting, right? So it's very important that you guys understand that. Don't just start dating your girl and support her right away. She has to obviously be vetted 6 months to 1 year, make sure that she is, worthy, and then, boom, then you can go ahead and start supporting her financially and everything else like that. Anything else, guys? No? Okay, go ahead. Last one. Does anyone have a disagreement? Here's your last chance before he goes, because I know this guy. He's a supporter. No? Damn, all you guys are Nazis too. All right, let's go. Okay, great. All you guys are Nazis too. All right, awesome.
I guess this.
All my niggas Nazis. What's up?
I guess this is maybe something that might be of interest for some. You said you're like investigating world religions, but also something that struck my mind. Hearing a lot of people come up professing their faith in Christ.
Yeah.
And I mostly agree with what they're all saying, but I feel like sometimes it sounds a little bit like wokeness infected Christianity. Like, we don't want to offend anybody. Like, the Jesus I've read in the Gospels was flipping tables over in the temple when he was pissed off. He was calling religious leaders of his day broods of vipers, telling people that if you mislead children, it's better for you to have a millstone hung around your neck and be thrown into the sea. So there's definitely mercy depicted in the New Testament, but there's still justice held in tension. So yeah,
that's a good point.
If you've got more of the flipping tables over approach,
I haven't flipped any tables over, so I think I'm doing
There's
okay.
value in it, even if it pisses people off.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's true. You sometimes to get the message out, you do have to use extreme ways. Luckily, I've never had to do that, and I think the tongue is more deadly than the sword. So that's kind of what I've been doing, and doing it in a peaceful manner. And obviously a lot of people get pissed off at that, but that's what we got to do. And I do want to also stress, guys, that like as conservatives, we have to be very careful and put our message out peacefully. Even if we say things that might come off as hateful, we're not actually being malicious about it, right? We make jokes a lot of the times and be hyperbolic, sarcasm, whatever it is, edgy jokes. But the key is to always be nonviolent and to be as peaceful as possible and get that message out and try to help people. So. Anyway, cool. I think that's it.